Please note the views and opinions expressed by the hosts on this show are not necessarily the views held by the station.
You're listening to Critical Mass Radio. Now it's our turn.
Well, good evening and welcome to Outside the Box, second installment for this Tuesday, July 2nd, July 3rd down under, obviously. Which should also help outline the illusion of time. Because we're all awake right now, regardless of what time it says. Isn't that funny? Huh. Yeah, just something to ponder. Yes, welcome to Outside the Box. I'm your host, Kate of Gaia. And we'll touch on a few things, I'm sure, tonight. I covered Ninja was on the show with me again this afternoon. Always a treat, and always good interaction. We covered the third installment of Raining Cats and Dogs, which, as I was reading through it, even more was getting unveiled. Such is the nature of starting to see things in an allegorical versus literal sense. We have been so trained for so long to look at things literally, and we miss all the hidden meanings behind it. And I'm talking from a very spiritual level. You see, that is for me, the very, very basis of the physical trap. When you put it in perspective of literal, and I mean literal in this sense, gods that you are, wallowing around trying to solve things in a physical world, that puts you at complete effect and under complete control, where your energies and intentions can be drained away. And they do it in many different ways. Most of it that you will see is always at a phase 1 level. Can they buy you? Are you buying it? And that can come in many forms. It can be a blood contract in Hollywood or a blood contract in music, whatever the case may be. Where there are those that will always want to take the lion's share of everything of your creation from you. I experienced that firsthand, to which I said, no thanks, I'm good. You can wave all the carrots in front of me that you want. To be known, I don't particularly like carrots. So you're wasting your time. And you can wave the brass ring all you want as well. They talk about when you win the prize, you win the brass ring. May I remind you what the brass ring is all about? It's the one ring to rule them all. In terms of the Taurus bull and the Vatican, the brass ring is the ring they shove through your nose so they can pull you in any direction they want. So they can buy you or try to buy you with fame and fortune and really nice paychecks. Be a politician or a lawyer or a judge or a cop or whatever the case may be. They will always pay their own very well. You see, because the ego is very easy to satiate with lust, greed, desire, fancy restaurants, fancy trips, fancy houses, fancy cars, fancy this, fancy that. Well, while you're dancing in the illusion, your dance partner unseen has you by the strings, Pinocchio. And while you think you're free, you're not. I just had a quick look all the way through it because it doesn't take much to turn my stomach when I see illusions being presented as solutions. It's in regards to the, was it freeworldcharter.org? I'll go back and I'll finish listening to it. I just want to get something in my stomach before I do that. It does. It literally nauseates me. It's an energy thing, right? What's the energy coming out of it? Not only a very gentle voice with a nice Southern Irish lilt to it, which of course it has been voted that the Irish accent is the most popular accent in the world, most loved. So of course they're going to use tools like that. And who's they? Well, they is us, in a perpetual state of trying to kid ourselves, in a perpetual state of practical joke, if you will. Are you going to keep falling for it? Or are you going to start looking with real eyes? Instead of the ones that have been so well conditioned, so well trained to only see things from a literal, very, very narrow viewpoint, very narrow perspective. The 1 millimeter slit to try to see the entire planet. I would wish you the best of luck with that. I personally chose to add a few more slits to that veil. As a matter of fact, I chainsawed it. I shredded it. Picture's quite clear. And what I saw, my first, I only deal with first impressions, first instincts, right? I follow my heart. I don't analyze stuff because that'll keep you going in circles forever. So I look at things and I come into it completely as an observer. What do I need to see? What do I need to hear? What do I need to feel? And I'm completely neutral. I don't go into anything with I'll tell you, if there's anything, and especially in a position like where I'm at, there is a lot of things that would appeal to people. And I've been here for so long now, and it's not that there's, quote, no hope, unquote. It's more that there's less chance of deception. Because I've seen too many supposedly wonderful things come along, and I took the bait on a few of them, the legal system and what have you. The intention was different. I wasn't looking for the freebies. I was just looking for truth. And the position I'm in right now is one, as I've said before, and I wrote it in my essay and everything else. This is a position I will hold at all costs, to the very death, which is the illusion anyway. I'm not buying the bullshit anymore. And I'm doing my best to share that perspective with people. So what does, from what I got from this site, I mean, the first thing that hit me was sign the petition. As soon as I see anything that says sign this, the first thing out of my empathic nature says, bullshit! You see, because if you're dealing in a physical act, well, here's a question to all of you. And many of you have listened for a long time. Every single night, many of you. Let me ask you this. Have I ever asked anyone to sign anything? The answer is no. Because I know what that represents spiritually. I'm not interested in controlling anything but my own ego, to sort out my own universe, to clean it up, to ring true with the as within, so without. So the more work I do on me, the more I see transmute in the exterior. It also helps to have that perspective of not taking things so literally. I would say just practice not taking things literally at all. And start feeling your way through this. You know, follow the yellow brick road. You have to lead with your nose, your heart. And what I'm asking, and this is the thing too, I will never ask of anyone anything that I haven't done myself a few fold over, just to make sure. I'm tenacious that way. I like to be very thorough. I get a hunch, I get a feeling, and then I take that hunch and put it into where I can observe it and analyze it from a neutral position, because it's very easy for the ego to slip in and start getting emotional about things. And don't kid yourself, I still get hit with that quite a few times a day. But I know what it is. And I go, there you are, okay, no problem. So I don't linger in it. It's that seed taking root again, where the plant and the roots are allowed to start digging back deep into your psyche again. You know, this Garden of Eden has many weeds in it, And when you get busy, taking all the weeds out, this is allegory, okay? That's what the Garden of Eden is, your brain, right? And these seeds of discord, these seeds of doubt that have been planted in us, have poisoned each of our gardens of Eden. And I've spent a great many years being meticulous about picking those weeds out of my garden. There's still a few there, don't kid yourself. I don't kid me. So I'm not going to even think of kidding you. The point is, I have the intent to keep my garden clean. And every so often I find a new breed of weed, but I pull it out and I get it out of my garden. I catalog it, don't get me wrong. I catalog it so I know what it is. And one of the things going way back, here's a few telltale signs for people as well. Now, I don't know when this freeworldcharter.org came out. All I saw it as was a complete allegorical mirror to what Op was selling. The carrots they were waving. Just sign here, we'll take care of the rest of your life. Sounds an awful lot like a government to me personally, but that's different. In the case of this, it's saying about getting rid of all the money. We don't need money because we have, wait a minute, technology. So first feeling I got was, cool, more transhumanism. More crutches, more dependency upon those things that we have created in the physical instead of getting right to the nitty-gritty. As I've said before, the doll-eye law, Ma, fell in line with transhumanism, 2045.com. And when I saw that, I had to laugh. I'm thinking, oh yeah, Creator has to be a practical joker. Because here's one of the most revered, supposedly, nationally revered, spiritual leaders in the world, on the planet, right from Tibet, right from, spiritual center, as far as we're told. And to come out and support transhumanism, for a layman's description of transhumanism, is taking your consciousness from your meat stick and transplanting it into a cyborg, where you can live forever. Yeah, well, and they'll convince you that, the sensors, you'll feel everything just like you feel now. Like the human body, if you really want to get down to it, is nothing more than a biological engine. It has the same circuits as computers. It has the same basic, it's a carbon heat engine. And you're the driver. You're the heat. You're the purpose, the intent. And what I see happening, especially with things that lean towards technology, the sinking of Atlantis, yet again, didn't we figure that one out before? I thought we did. When you start leaning on crutches, this, as you go back and listen back to the last few shows when Tony was on with me, you can see where I had crossed my own Rubicon of saying, I've had enough of the technological bullshit. I've had enough of the technological fucking garbage. Distractions of UFOs, distractions of free energy, distractions of all shit. It's all physical. It's all effect. It's all created. It's all past. I don't live in the past. I live in the now. Now, to try to describe what it is that I'm seeing, the picture for me isn't even that clear. I'm just following my heart. But I will tell you this, when something doesn't sit with me, doesn't resonate with my feeling, my empathic nature, my gut instincts, whether I know the mirror opposite of it or the creation I want to fully create or not, it's irrelevant. What I do have, though, is a mirrored backdrop that I can reflect upon for myself to look at and go, okay, well, don't want that. Oh, yeah, there's something there that's not involving this whole worship technology and what have you. And as I listen through a bit more, I'll show you how the opt-in and this world free world charter are mirrors to each other. Excuse me. What's I going to say there? Oh, as this little presentation video was only 6.5 minutes. I think I got 4.5 minutes into it, and I thought, no, okay. Like I said, it was turning my stomach. This individual was talking about so we can have better schools, better hospitals, and I was thinking, well, it smells like system to me. You know, people say, well, Kate, what the hell are we going to do? Well, I don't know. I'll be blunt. I don't know. But I certainly know that I don't want that. I certainly know that it hasn't worked so far. And I certainly know that these were tools that were used to indoctrinate. Hell, none of the books that are in there, are based in fact. They're all written by those around us. And again, I'm starting to look at things more from this place being a practical joke being played on God, ourselves, we're working on ourselves, to see if we'll actually fall for it. Now think about all the things that you've been through, and I was howling last night on this, and I started thinking about all the things I've been through and how I reacted to them, how, either happy or upset I got or whatever, and this whole practical joke thing is, now imagine if someone is watching you in this practical joke, and how they're laughing at us all spinning out, going, oh my. Because one of the things, I got to go back to Terence McKenna. I think it was on one of his DMT trips. He was talking about an app or something that was on the other side. And I've heard a few people talk about, oh, it's nice to see you. We don't see many of you very often. And one of the things he had mentioned, could have been him or Graham Hancock or somebody, talking about this elephant-type creature, whatever, laughing. Might even have been what was the guy's name? He was all about sigils, cartoon artist. Believe he's from Scotland, but anyway, for Marvel Comics and had done some serious DMT investigations, and that was another underlying theme as well of those on the other side laughing. And I pondered it, and I thought, what the hell are they laughing at? And then I thought, well, hey, they're probably laughing at us and watching us trip our way through this physical realm, and time and time again. And it probably just keeps getting funnier every time, each of us fails at a lifetime, and we have to come back and do it again. And we probably get the hook up in between and going, yeah, I howled when you did that, and oh, look how upset you got there, and look what you did there, and you feel like a right idiot when you stop and think about it and how we've reacted to so many things. This is why we got to start learning to laugh at ourselves. There was a movie years back where I think Michael Douglas starred in it. He always seemed to be in really cool movies, but it was a great allegory. It was along the same lines of what I'm speaking of here, where this guy was so wealthy, he had more money than he could ever spend in 100 lifetimes, and he was bored. And his wife ended up getting him a very rare and very, very expensive birthday gift. And what this gift was, of course, he didn't know what the gift was she had went to this company that specializes in creating false flags for individuals. And, of course, close friends and family and whatever around this individual recruited to play their role in this individual's life to make it seem more realistic, to believable. So that the main character, the target of this drama, wouldn't be any of the wiser. And it was a very dramatic ending, resulting in actually shoot someone, a best friend or a family member at the very end of the movie. It was done very well, but of course it was blank, all stage, everything else. And when they finally told him what had happened, it was the best gift he ever had, because he he had to live life on the edge. It was almost like this spy versus spy thing that started happening around him, and just these crazy, crazy things. And it was basically thrill a minute, and this guy was living the thrills. And to him, it was all very, very real. Everyone around him knew that they were just playing. And that never left me. That whole concept never left me. It stuck to me like glue. And again, pondering it last night, I had a good laugh. Yeah, it would be kind of funny that the situation that we find ourselves in, are we not being the trickster, the great trickster, of course, Loki or Logos, right? Loki, and I believe it's Scandinavian lore is the god of tricks, jokes. Think back to The Mask, the Jim Carrey movie, and you'll start to get an idea of what it is I'm talking about. And there we have the allegories of masks as well. And which masks are we wearing? And which masks do we take off? Excuse me. So here's the thing about planet Earth that I see. Everything for me is allegorical, and they're getting clearer. It's still not 100% every time. I mean, it's still, it takes a bit of work to go, there it is, to see what the allegories are actually saying. It was like I was talking about a video I had watched last night with Jonathan and Charlotte on Britain's Got Talent. I follow my nose, and I just saw this shy boy and girl amaze judges and audience, whatever. And there was something about Jonathan's face in the video that appealed to me. I thought, this is something I have to see. That's what I felt. So I clicked on it, only to be incredibly and totally amazed at the talent of these two kids. Jonathan is 17, Charlotte is 16. Is it just I don't know, maybe lucky coincidence that 17 and 16 is 33? You put these two things together. I didn't even mention that on the air earlier today, but there's a lot of things in it. Then I looked, of course, at the initials, and of course, Jonathan J, Charlotte C. And immediately I saw JC, and you hear me talk about JC and the boys and girls, of course, there's girls involved, and the different teachings that master had. So I went into it a lot deeper allegorically once you bust away the literal, and you start looking for an allegorical, it starts to show itself very easily, because we can get blinded by the light of the literal every single time. I know I have most of my life. It's only in the last 6, 7, 8 months where these allegories are really starting to come to the fore. So I saw, there's Jonathan, of course, the male, and divine masculine. I won't say male. It's the energy of these individuals I want to speak on. And you have Charlotte as the divine feminine energy, and they're very loyal to each other. I would recommend watching their audition, their semifinal, and the final to see the evolution of the divine masculine and feminine, and why it is so important for both parts to partake in both parts. Because the only reason that J, the je suis, Jonathan, Jesus, je suis, all you got to do is put your I into it. The only thing missing in the I am is I, so je suis. How about we do it? And then, of course, you have the divine feminine, the Christos, or crystal, or Christol, in the divine feminine energy. When you put those both together, you have a complete trinity. This is what I could see with these two, because they were both loyal to each other, and the only reason Jonathan was on the stage was because of the divine feminine. Right? He even says so. So no one would have seen either of them had the one not pushed the other. And as it turns out, at the end of the audition, Simon, in beautiful form. I don't know why people get so mad at Simon. I think he's beautiful. He doesn't waste time. He just, no ego, just chainsaw straight through. And when he is wrong, he will be the first to admit it. It's one of the things I admire about him. So I wish people wouldn't be so hard on the guy. Yeah, he said some things that was like, oh, okay, it's not something I would say, but I know why you said it, and damn it, you're right. But here we are, too worried about our emotional, baggage, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. We all go through this. And certainly, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings in the physical realm sense. But when you start getting spiritual, you understand that all of those things are part and parcel of the ego and part of the experience. And they're not the real feelings anyway, because they're debased in an analytical. They're not coming from the pure heart region. They're coming straight from the mind. And when you start getting into the heart region and start feeling these emotions properly, they're not emotions anymore. Now they're motions. The only motion in the universe is love. Everything else is no motion. Stop. And that allows for the motion to continue itself. But at the end of the audition, Simon had basically said, Charlotte, you're good, and Jonathan, you are unbelievable, right? So I automatically, and you can feel the energy from this, because both of these kids they are raw. They are just as innocent as it gets, just up doing their thing and with no preconceived notions or expectations. They just went up to do their thing, and that's how we're supposed to be. And you could feel that, loss that she felt at that moment when he said that. And when it came down to everyone saying their yeses, it got to Simon, and Simon says, my mind says, Jonathan, dump her. And of course you hear the crowd, ooh, ah. And these kids are that good. They really are. And by the time you get to the last one, you understand why it got so much more powerful. But Simon then turns to say, but I got to tell you, my heart says that there is a magic in your friendship that works when you work together. So I say yes, you both go forward. So even Simon was a beautiful example of that division, the divide and conquer of the heart and the mind, where the mind says one thing, the heart says, no, there's something more here. And that's what we end up getting caught up in. We end up getting caught up in looking at things superficially from the exterior. And there's a little clip of an interview with Charlotte and Jonathan as they're talking. Now Jonathan, he's a big kid, and I can only imagine the amount of verbal abuse he took just based on his size. But there he had this beautiful divine feminine essence who read his book. They sang together, right? It was their singing teacher that thought they would work well together, and that was why they were on the show. And she was right. I'd like to meet this teacher. Yeah, honestly, you hear the pair of them. It's a no-brainer anyway. So, but I'm not to take away from the teacher that suggested they do this. But John on the stage, he said, we came here together, we stay together. And you can hear that we do this together, this mantra we've been talking about for ages. It's kind of neat how it just coincidentally shows up in the now, even though the video, it's only from last year. It's not that old. And I have no idea if they actually won everything or not. I didn't care. That wasn't the point of observing. Win, lose, or draw, I don't give a shit. I just want to see the message. And then you saw Charlotte's heart, the Christ heart lift. So you have the Jesus, or the Je suis Christos, masculine divine protecting and defending the feminine divine that was defending and protecting the masculine. It was a beautiful, I think this is really the best allegorical clip I've ever seen that describes the intertwining of the male, masculine energy, feminine energy, serpents intertwining like DNA. Because when they were put together, they became the third. So that's basically how I look at things. I'm not, I follow my heart, and as I'm watching these things, actually with it, in this case, feeling it, my eyes are going, looking at things, what's going on, what's he wearing, what's she wearing, how will look at the numbers, right? 17 and 16 is 33, right? So these are all little clues that get me to pay deeper attention to things. And these clues are in everything. It's not just one video. You can look at anything and the clues are there. It just so happens that looking at underdogs as they are completely unknown, come onto a stage and blow the world away. That's the kind of shit I like. Because those are the bigger than life, the bigger than the physical illusion things. It's where spirit conquers all. And when it gets to the last, the finals, like I said, I don't even know if don't care if they won or not. My heart, they already won that, so it doesn't matter to me. When Simon is giving his little wrap up, and you could see it in his face. He was moved from his mind into his heart every time these kids sang. And he said to Jonathan, he says, in the very beginning, you remember I said, Jonathan, her, and you said, no, we're friends and we do this together. And Simon said, I have to tell you, that was the best decision you ever made. And then you felt that energy. I got the goosebumps again. Then you felt that energy between these two, the complete vindication of the divine feminine standing by her divine masculine and vice versa. And whether they were, quote, a couple is irrelevant. And that's the beauty of this. Because they already are in a spiritual sense. It doesn't matter about the physical at this point. It's when you start seeing this intertwining, and this is where we have been so deceived and so taken off our yellow brick roads with the superficiality of our society. They bombard people with advertising. Guys have to look like this, girls have to look like this. You got to do this, that, and the other. And there's the song Grand Illusion. Don't be fooled by the TV, the radio, or the magazines. They'll tell you, have to live according to someone else's dream. How about you start dreaming your own? And when I see these little things, these little clips of absolute wonder, and it helps me put my own life back into perspective and hopefully share the things that I feel and see and observe allegorically with you. So for me, you could be moved by just watching it. That's fine, but for me, there was so much more there that just kept adding potential to exponential on top of it. And it was a beautiful, beautiful display of that pure unity. So there you go. Getting back to the allegory of Opt versus Free World Charter. Well, what was Opt trying to get you? They were trying to give you, that's right, $10 billion each. Yeah, like you're gonna know how to spend $10 billion. Yeah, And what's the first thing that happens to most people when they get handed more money than the brains and heart they have to deal with? They end up destroying themselves. I've heard so many stories of people that win the lottery only to be like a year or two later completely devastated and broke because they, wasted it. They didn't know how to use it. They never had it. It was like a brand new toy, and they just drove it into the ground, basically. Because they don't have the knowledge and the responsibility to handle things like that. So try to think of a few people on this planet that you know, and what they would do with $10 billion. I know there's a lot of, you want some proofs here. I know there's a lot of people out there that, you give them enough money and hell, they'll go out and buy themselves an arsenal. Because they got degraded egos where arming themselves to the teeth, and hell, $10 billion, you can get yourself a few SAM missiles or surface to air, and you can pick up a tank or two, and all the rest of it. Money is no object, right? You want proof of that? I mean, there are certainly no ethics in the military-industrial complex. Oh, absolutely not. Best weapon to the highest bidder. And with $10 billion, you can buy a lot of stuff. Is that the kind of society you want? And these, for me, are very fundamental things. These are the gas cans filled with naphtha and handing a kid a lit sparkler just to see what happens. I mean, as soon as a kid takes a sparkler, bam, the whole naphtha goes up, and you got yourself a... yeah, well, you got the visual, right? So Opt came out, and they were talking about, well, just opt in, sign here, and we'll take care of everything. We've got this document. Of course, I scanned through the first few lines of this shit, and it was so juvenile, it made me sick. You see, a lot of people, especially when they ask me about things in the legal sense, forget how deep I went into that and how well versed I got in writing it. I speak fluent and write fluent legalese. And I write it with a different kind of a flair, too, because I'm writing between the lines. I put my own layers in there because I was watching the other layers. I was reading between the lines so I could write between them. And when I first started looking at the ops stuff, and other stuff too, I mean, I'll look at it if I, just out of morbid curiosity. All right, people still playing this? How are they still playing it? Oh yeah, it's still the same shit. When I see things like person and all the rest of it, and just put your name. Listen, if there's a name involved and you don't know who you are, you're still giving away your divine, feminine, creative, spiritual essence. And you guys need to get this. People need to get this. It's not just a name, it's your very essence. Let me try that again. It's not just your name, that's the physical. It's your very essence, your very being, your godness that's attached to it. And you're throwing it around like naphtha in a sparkler. And you're giving it to whoever and whatever knows how to use it. And they do. Oh, they know how to use it. It's a very fine line we walk here in the universal law sense. Because you can't cross the Rubicon either way in terms of dishonor. That's why I know the system has its back to the wall. That's why I've been picking away at all the different levels of the name and the spiritual traps that we've been caught in. I've discussed the mind, body, and soul, right? The mind, that's an easy one. When you have people with weak minds that are caught up in the illusion of the whore of Babylon commerce with their Mark of the Beast name, raving lunatic consumerians that enjoy corporate company parties called Canada Day or the 4th of July or whatever fucking day that celebrates the company creation. You're dealing with a psychotic. I hate to put it that way for you, but that's a fact. You're dealing with someone that doesn't have a clue as to who and what they are. That's an easy mind to control. Very easy, because they're playing the program. They're 9 to 5 in it. They're, they got the mortgage, they got the bank accounts, they got the cars, they got the visas. I've been there. I lived it. That's why I know this, right? I'm glad I'm not psychotic anymore. There's a way to change this. And it's not a physical change, it's a spiritual intent change. Because it's not going to change this world physically. They've been trying to do it with wars for centuries, and it hasn't worked very well. It just ended up a lot of us getting exteriorized and have to come back into a new body, shitting diapers again. Okay? Which prolongs it. Right? And look, I mean, they don't want 70, 80, 90-year-old men at the front lines. No, they pick the prime of the youth. Just to make sure that you just got into the game, you just got started, you started waking up again, and next thing you know, you got a you got a .303 rifle in your hand. You're trenching in France, and you're looking across at a fellow human being, and you're shooting at them, right? Oh, is this guy wanting to do the cutting the lawn at night? Oh, yeah. So I'll probably have to take this inside shortly. Yeah. Wouldn't make sense to do it during the day. No. Let's make noise while people are trying to sit back and relax in the evening. Especially out on the decks. There's a few decks along this back wall here, so. Tell you what, I'm going to toss a tune on for a sec. I'll get myself reestablished. So we'll be right back.
You're listening to Critical Mass Radio. Now, it's our turn.
Well, it would appear he had a malfunction. Good intent, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, the hood's up on the riding lawnmower. I do imagine I'll probably fire it back up again. However, like I said, I like being outside as long as I possibly can. I don't like being inside the 60 hertz grids. Just not comfortable. Not for me, anyway. So let's get back to the mind, body, and soul control, right? Well, the mind's an easy one, because most people live in the reptilian fight, flee, or freeze brain, right? The cerebellum, meaning, war, bullets, right? parabellum, cerebellum, and of course Ceres. What's Ceres, right? Three-headed dog. And it's got the balance too, because you have the Sa Ra as well. So Jesus and Sa Ra. Lots of allegories here, guys. They can control the mind easily through smart meters, through advertising, subliminals, carrier waves on television programs. Even when the TV's not on, it's still sending the carrier waves. It's sent through 60 hertz electricity as well. This is why I laugh at people that want privacy, because you see, with the 60, just with the 14.2 wire in your wall, those are able to pick up sound. They can actually listen to the sonics in your home if they pinpoint you. The hydro lines, or electrical lines, we call it hydro here, hydroelectricity, right? So, but the electrical lines that are strung so neatly along every single street, it would make a lot more sense personally to bury these things. That way you never have to worry about maintenance, because they're sealed and grounded. So none of this dangerous energy. You've heard all the stories of the different cancers that happen around these, high power, high tension power lines and transfer stations and whatever. It reminds me of, there's one house just outside of Guelph that is, maybe a couple hundred feet away from one of these transfer stations, and the power lines are going right over the house. I said, how do you live there? Must have been a really good real estate agent saying, oh, yeah, beyond the fact that it's an eyesore and there's not a lot of trees around it, that's all you get to look at. That's like, that's not something I'd want to be having in my backyard. Sorry. So there's all the means of, controlling the transceiver, implanting thoughts, ideas. It goes back to the scene in Return of the Jedi when Luke comes in and he basically mind controls one of the... Here, I'm taking this inside now. Where he mind controls one of the individuals. One sec. It's probably even going to be loud in here. Anyway, hopefully that's a little better. Just close the other window so we can get rid of the sound here. Yeah, he'd do better with a push mower, actually. Be a lot healthier, I'm sure. But or just let the grass grow. It's not bothering anyone. Kids play there. Never goes that high anyway. So anyway, so there's the mind part. Now, the body, of course. We've talked about urine therapy and how we literally piss our ether life away, which is gathered up through the sewer systems and utilized in numerous different consumer products. So a lot of your products, you're buying your own piss back, which is, kind of crazy when you stop and think about it, yeah? And instead of recycling it, which I think I covered that in Raining Cats and Dogs Part 2, to give people a better understanding of what it is I just said. Genetically modified foods. For me, the most dangerous of all the things that we ingest are high fructose corn sugar. It's in everything. If you look at processed foods, that's what's in it. And the trick with high fructose corn sugar is, goes back to Dr. Kozyrev. This is some really early work he did, and of course, this is the last couple of years, or a couple of years ago, researching into toroidal fields and what have you, try to get a better understanding of this physical reality, let's say. And as it turns out, excuse me, when I was looking at this article that was put together by him, or about him, one of the things that he discovered was that the high fructose corn sugar, the stuff, the wrong sugar, actually has a reverse toroidal effect, which inhibits external energies. Now, this can be taken as good or evil. It depends on the intent, because everything is good and evil. The only thing that changes that is the perspective and the intent and the awareness. If you're not aware of it, it's going to work one way. And if you become aware of it, then you become mind over matter, and you can choose whether it's going to affect you or not. And I've used the example of firewalkers, where you and I, not being properly trained in in what it is we're supposed to be doing would get our feet burned off our legs. Yet these individuals walk across coals that are 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit with not so much as a crack in their skin or a blister or anything. That's because they're controlling the energy. And it's got nothing to do with the physical. This much I do know. This is the mind over matter, creating your own universe. And it's definitely something I would consider. I'd love to hook up with these individuals. And all right, what's the trick? Because for me, that would be the trick of tricks, in that if you can do it on firewalking, then you can apply it to your entire existence. And I often wonder if anyone actually kind of caught that notion. But getting back to the corn sugars, they're just downright poison. That's exactly what cancer feeds on, because they're the wrong sugars. And when the body gets too acidic, because that's what it does to it, cells start starving for real sugars, and they mutate. It's a fungus. And it goes out searching for as much sugar as it can get, and the more of this sugar it consumes, the worse it gets. That's why we have to get ourselves in a state of alkalinity, not acidity. And most of us are walking around in a constant state of acidity, a perfect growing zone for all manner of diseases. Funguses need acidity to grow. They can't grow in alkaline environments. Genetically modified foods, of course. One of my intuitive feelings is that, well, that's another place where a lot of this genetic material called urine gets siphoned off, where they can use this to better enhance the products of body control. I got an email the other day, alert, check for these fibers and whatever. Only those that are, this is the thing. I think I said this the other day. Those of us that are talking about all these things, chemtrails and what have you, not me, but you know what I'm saying, aren't affected by them because they're aware of them. They know what they are. Did you never stop and wonder about that? I did anyway. But again, it's about bringing it into your awareness. And once you're aware of something, you're less likely to be an effect to it. You start becoming cause over it. It's like the system. Once we became aware, more fully aware that it was completely corrupt and designed to enslave us, we all take steps to change that so that we're not so much at effect to it. And by that, here's a little allegory. Those of us that decide, well, I'm not paying taxes anymore. I'm not aiding and abetting in the killing of other humans by funding governments that love to wage wars. Illegal. All wars are illegal. Okay, that's the oxymoron. An illegal war. At what point does what you're wearing matter when you murder somebody? Just because you have on, a uniform with a badge on it that says you're with this group, that doesn't, and you take a life, that doesn't make you any less criminal than someone that just shows up in a T-shirt. So go ahead. Anyone. I'd love for someone to come to me and defend murder as a good thing in any way, shape, or form. We're just killing ourselves. And as I outlined before, who knows who these individuals are? And based on the length of time this game's been going on, you're only killing former family members. They could have been children or aunts or uncles or grandparents or mothers and fathers in previous lives. If you haven't seen Cloud Atlas, well, that will help open the concept up to you, because we are all interweaving with each other and have been for a very long time. And just because we look different this time round doesn't mean the consciousness isn't the same. And there again is that allegory of the superficiality of looking at the surface and judging the book by its cover, because it's wearing a sari or veil over their face, funny little hats on their heads, long beards, long hair, all based on religion. And of course, you got to factor in that the craziest illusion of all is skin color. Seriously. You got to get below that to see the ether. All the ether that runs through everyone's veins on this planet is red. You know, it's just madness. So there's the body taken care of, and of course we do a great job in especially in the Western society of turning ourselves into rather obese beings, and that's all based on the things we eat. And mindset, of course, too. I mean, it's just the way society has had things made and presented to us. So it's no wonder. You know, it's a shared responsibility. So there's no guilt there. It's like we've been so conditioned for so long, and we follow the status quo. So, you know, some of us, fortunately, have metabolisms that can handle the poisons better than others. Some that can't, right? So, yeah, we're all in this together. There's no separation here. And the solutions we're going to get to them together as well. So there is no judgment here at all. There is bringing facts to the table and dealing with the truth. And seeing what our responsibility in that truth is. What are we doing about it? What are we doing to change our lives, our ways? Or are we still going to be stuck in the illusion of looking at others and going, ooh, or ah? Yeah, the mirror is the toughest thing to look at. Excuse me, I'm not talking in the physical sense. Because the joy of actually seeing allegory is you start seeing way beyond any of the surface. I mean, hell, I'm a prime example of that. People, you know, most of my life thought I was one thing when they had no idea who I really was. I always knew. And I got to live in a hidden terror of myself until I finally overcame that and had the courage to just simply be. That was a big, big step for me. There's nothing. Oh yeah, there was baby steps to get there, but that last step, boy, that's the Indiana Jones across the chasm step, and there's no coming back. There's no coming back because it's in the reality. And hell, I wouldn't want to go back anyway. It's like, ew. No thanks. I'm good. So we have the mind and the body taken care of. How are they getting the soul? You see, there was my quest. The rest of the stuff was obvious. It was easy to spot. It's all physical. You can see that and experience it with your eyes and ears and body and of course tasting and smelling and feeling, and it's all there because it's all in the physical 3D realm. I was more interested in, great, how are they grabbing our literal creation, our literal souls, and using that creative source to their benefit? And we have the physical allegory of it in that, of course, great example of that is a music artist or an acting artist or whatever. I'm going to use these because they're the most obvious to me to show. You know, an artist goes and they've got great talent and whatever. They say amazing performances in acting or amazing songs and what have you. It doesn't matter. And of course, the parasites see that. Those that cannot create, the ones, the manager types, right? And I only ever see them as parasites. Some of them are genuine, where they have a true love of what it is they're doing, yet most of them that I've ever met are just interested in the bottom line. They didn't care about the talent. They didn't care about the individual. They're only caring about how many records they could sell. And bottom line, it's what it's all about. It's all money, right? So there's no creativity. But what they're doing is when they get one that's got the goods to go, they get them signed on the dotted line and basically rape them for their creativity. Like you see artists this artist makes $10 million a year. you can be rest assured that management company is making 100 or 1,000-fold that. Because I know how the breakdowns work. And just like real life, you get table scraps for the things you create, whether you work in a factory, bakery, whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. Whatever your vocation is, you only take home a fraction, table scraps, of the actual creation itself. Someone else is making money on the bottom line. Someone else is profiting. Well, let's have a look at the Walton family, right? Walmart. There's a great example when you're dealing with a family that's worth billions and billions, and their employees are some of the lowest paid, non-unionized workers on the planet. Imagine that. Table scraps. And unfortunately, when we get people with that kind of money and no real sense of benevolence, what you have is a corrupted society. You have those, the haves, right? Generally the wrong people, because they're focused only on a physical reality and profiting off the flesh and soul of their fellow man in the first place, holding the keys to the proverbial kingdom. And we play along, just perpetuating this nonsense over and over and over again. So the true uprising here is not about a physical game, it's about changing your intent. Is that really how you want to spend infinity? Over and over. And until you get this, that's how you will spend it. This is about setting yourself free in the illusion. Right? So for me, I had to look at it, and I came at it from the legal perspective. I wanted to find out how we were in dishonor, because dishonor is a concept, right? These are thoughts. These are concepts. And I had to figure out how we were in greater dishonor than the courts. Because we were, obviously, because some of these guys, judges, whatever, hand down ridiculous, sentences and fines and whatever, and for utterly ridiculous things, and getting away with it. And my only question was, how the hell are they getting away with that? Because, excuse me, there's no justice there, and of course there is no such thing as justice in their system. It's all about rape and pillage. So I had to figure out what it was that we were doing on a universal law level. How were we trespassing and breaking honor and being in dishonor greater than the courts? And the one thing that kept flashing through my brain all the time: ignorance of the law is not a defense of it or from it. The next question was, okay, great, which law? Which version of law? I mean, hey, you've got the common law, you've got admiralty, you've got universal, you got the law of nations, you got all these different layers, and I went up through every single one of them. Admiralty, by the way, is the lowest. It's that's the allegory of everything gone too physical and dead, literally dead. Admiralty deals in the dead, right? Whereas universal law only deals in the living. So I had to figure out how was this dead realm mirroring the living one? How were they taking the very life essence from us? And everything centered in on the name. That was the very first thing I ever came across with Eldon Warman. This is going back about 12 years or so. And he had, I'm not sure if his website's still up or not. By the way, I will mention that the information that I used then stopped working very quickly. It worked for me. Like I said, we peel back layers, and as soon as too many start catching on to it, they change the rules. Right? Well, they don't so much change them as they have to retreat. They're retreating because they can't use that duping anymore. And once you see that stopped working, then you know that, well, it worked once, so it was effective, but now it's not working anymore, so there must be something else there that has to be uncovered in that same layer, right? And that's what I was doing. I just layer after layer, peeling it back. Get the victory doesn't work. Okay, what are we missing now? Oh, there it is. Okay, victory. Oh, doesn't work. What do we mean? Oh, there it is. And keep doing that, baby stepping through the system. peeling off all the layers. And those layers are just deceptions. Those layers are just to keep you coming back for more, playing the lottery tickets. And you will, until you figure it out that it's actually you that are committing the original sin, the fraud. Excuse me. Original sin is an allegory. And the original sin is who started, what, when, where, how, and why. And I've covered this in nauseating detail, to the point where it's right there. If anyone can see it, they can use it. It's right there. It's right in front of your face. But what we're dealing with, more than anything else, are egos that cannot let go of the name. They cannot even think of letting go of the name. But once you uncover the fraud, guess what happens? That name, or way, becomes yours again. You see, what I looked at was, the name means way. It's ancient etymology for way. It's the not me, the name me, right? So in effect, when you're asked by anyone, for identification, what's your name? What they're actually asking you for is, what is your way? Are you of the whore of Babylon slave system that we own you because you're a criminal having committed fraud with having a driver's license? Or are you not of that? Right? And as soon as here's the click, right? As soon as you become part of it's these guys who go, well, the Constitution. Oh, fucking shut up, Constitution. Fucking wake up. It's got nothing to do with you. You don't even know who you are. But there's the belligerent, always the belligerent ego saying, yeah, it's fine, I'm going to keep using it, and I'm in honor somehow, and they're missing the whole point. This is why this information is so absolutely critical if you get it. These are your own keys to your own kingdom. I can't tell you how to use it. All I can tell you is that I'm standing in it, have been for a long time, and it's been very painful. And that is the hardest thing about what I do. I do this solo. I don't have someone that I can sit down at the end of my day for something as simple as a hug and a talk. I got to run this solo. And that's not a victim or a pity thing. That's a reality. There's nothing I'd love more than to be able to share this on a level and have it click with someone close to me. But I had to have everything ripped away from me in order to find this. But there it is. There's the heart and soul put out for you. This is, for me, how valuable this is. This is what it costs to get to. And I'm extremely grateful that I got here. I would be even more grateful if people actually grasped it and started using it. Some people are, finally. They're starting to get the notion. And I covered this, when did I cover this? Might have been last night. I've covered this many times, though. The name isn't yours. Just keep saying that over and over and over. Until you actually get it. It's not yours until you know who you are. Anyone carrying any ID of any kind whatsoever and using that name is actually committing fraud. I had this confirmed verbally from the British High Consulate. And I think these guys, and I went at it from the Law of Nations perspective, from an ambassador perspective. I had some great chats with, what's his name? Williams. He's in my phone too. I had some great conversations with him. Matrix Solutions. Right? Great chats about a lot of this stuff, because I was talking with him as I was dealing with the consulate prior to getting that emergency passport. And he was getting it. Haven't talked to him in a very long time, so I should probably touch base and see how he's doing. But the bottom line is it was a spiritual game. And I had to figure out how they were stealing our soul, keeping us in spiritual, universal, living dishonor, and keeping us amongst the dead. And it was all done through the register. It's done through the sewers by taking our living ether that we give away freely. What we have to stop and look at is, what are we doing of our own free will consent to aid and abet in our own destruction. Don't get mad at them. They're the mirror reflection. We're destroying ourselves if we don't get this. This is Jacob's ladder. You can choose to climb up or climb down. It's infinite. When you keep climbing down, it gets a little bit darker and a little bit nastier. Imagine that. How do you think that'll roll for you? How do you think that'll work? I think you might have a problem with that. I think you might not like that too much either. No, I don't want your signature. Fuck no. You've been giving it away too many times already. You've given it to all the wrong people. Just like me. You gave it to the banks. You gave it to governments. What else? Well, one of the things with me, I gave my signature away all the time, signing CDs and whatever. But I don't think anyone was going to go out and try to hypothecate that. They could, though, because that was my spiritual intent put on a document. Signet, signature, cygnus, divine feminine, spirit, essence. Yeah. Tie it together. Might seem like a stretch for some people, but it's not really. When you stop and think about it, it's not a stretch at all. Looks like they got the grass cut finally. Good. As much as I like the smell of fresh cut grass, it always... I prefer to let it go to seed so it gets fuller. And what actually I prefer to see is, get rid of the lawns and grow food. If you did that, if you took care of a garden in the front instead of a lawn, you'd never have to go to a grocery store. Excuse me. Why do they got so adamant about not wanting people to grow their own stuff? No, they want to make sure that their genetically modified shite is the only thing you eat to keep degrading your DNA. But the irony and the joy of that is they can never completely destroy it because there's still you there. There's still the true essence of you there. Oops, I forgot my mouse. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Anyway. We do this by consent. We do this by free will consent. So start looking at all the things that you've done to give your life away. And I mean that not allegorically either. This is a very literal, very real thing. That's why they're after it. That's why they want it. That's why they want you to sign on the dotted, or not even the dotted line. Excuse me, but they want you to sign where X marks the spot. X being ki, or chi, life, spirit. And it also means no consideration on anything. When you sign something with an X on it, I've said this before, you're saying that you have no consideration on that name whatsoever, or the signature rather, and that it's a gift. When there's no consideration, it's a gift. And when somebody gives you a gift, they don't give you a set of instructions as to how to use that gift. Oh, that would be rude. Don't you think? Just got to find my mouse. There it goes. Yeah, that's what we do. We do it all the time. So start looking at things. These are things, baby steps that you can stop everything in its tracks. Stop signing stuff. Most assuredly, start living within your own means. And I don't have your answers for you. All I can offer you is truth for you to look at it for yourself and how you can deal with it. I've already walked my walk in that regard. And I assure you, the information that I'm trying to share with you is to make sure that what happened to me does not happen to you. That's the gift. That's the real gift. See, the universe, as it works, when you stand in truth, will peel away all of that which possesses you to rid you of distractions, as it were. I hate putting it that way because the way this world operates, it's like, oh, you cold-hearted bitch. No, not at all. Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. That's the problem with the mirror here. Most people only see it on the other side. So there you go. I think that little bit of a rant's going to be over now anyway because, I can beat this horse till it's dead 1,000-fold. A couple of documents just to look at, long and short of it. If you can get the notion that the name is fraud, now you have the tool to use against the system. It's a simple question. Somebody asks you for a name, you just have to ask them, are you trying to aid and abet me into committing fraud by claiming to have, own, or be something that is not mine, clearly not mine, a crown copyright that belongs to, your team? Is it your will and intent to aid and abet me into this fraud, where I do not wish to enter it? You might get a different reaction there. So anyway, guys, lines are open. Anybody wants in, just put your hand up. I see, we got Miranda. You don't have to put your hand up. I'll put you in anyway, because I was hoping to have you on with Ninja and I this afternoon. And, of course, let's just start this off with Miranda, Ninja, and myself, and whoever else wants to jump in. So, I'm such a courteous host. You're talking whether you want to or not. Fair?
Yeah, really fair.
Oh, thanks very much.
Told you I'm a bitch.
I haven't said enough already today, huh?
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, you shared pedestals in the air today. It was beautiful to hear that read out. That's why I love, I love hearing people, whether it's something in poetry or something in song or whatever. I love hearing the actual creator of it speak it, because the words resonate. It has its own resonation, right?
Yeah, that was nice to read it out anyway. I get more out of it. As you said, when you read something again, you can take something more from it, or just a deeper understanding, yeah.
Oh, for sure. You start peeling more layers, and you're adding your energy to it as well.
Yeah. Hi, Miranda. Sorry, darling, I didn't say hello.
Hi there, honey bun.
Oh, honey bun.
Oh, the kinder, more funner station. Yeah. Gotta love it. So, seeing some new people on the board tonight. That's good. Unless they've changed their no. What else can I say? Well, I can see Bindi. There's Donna and Lexus. So what else we got? Yeah, so feel free, guys. Just hit one on your dial pad. Oh, there we go. Bindi, hers. I went down to look to see if she's still there, and she must have hit it when I was at the bottom. Where'd you go? And, of course, when you hit it, you go to the top of the list. Hello, Bindi. How are you?
Hello there, Kate. I'm pretty good, actually.
Is anything I'm saying making sense to anybody?
Hang on. Just adjusting everything.
You always make sense.
Yeah?
It's like, does this seem like a very, very difficult concepts to grasp, or?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
But it's...
No,
You've got to want to see it too. You've got to want to know.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a bit of a desire there.
That's the best one, isn't it?
We want to get the hell out of here, darling. So we want this.
Well, there's the $64 million question, right? The only thing I'm going to say to that, sorry, little itchy trigger finger on the mute on my end here, for me. You see, there's the real question: do you really want out? And the only thing that's ever going to hold you back is fear. And the ego is going, oh, but what about this, and what about my comfort that, and my comfort this, and comfort the other, and blah, 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 blah. Right? Yeah, those are all thoughts that went through my mind. And the ego also thought, well, you've been standing tall and handing it out for a long time. Victory after victory, so never got cocky or arrogant about it. But I'll tell you, every victory felt good. And right up to the point of my house getting raided, I was batting pretty much 1,000. That's based on people following through on stuff that I had done for them or given them, whereas most people don't. They just, and that's the problem with this too, right? When people don't understand the concepts of what you're doing, they're just looking for someone to wipe their bum for them. well, I've got this mess. Oh, your document will fix it, and they think that's it. And when it doesn't fix it, they're coming back. Well, it didn't work. I says, well, yeah, it does. You just gotta. You obviously don't understand the process. You don't understand the concept. And imagine having dozens and dozens of people knocking on your door all the time, asking the same fucking questions. It drives you batty. And it's like, then I got to a point where I said, no, I'm not doing this anymore. And I just kept it on the air, and there it is. Don't use anything until you get it. But don't make ignorance your excuse because you don't get it. Work at it. It's not tough.
Become a social worker. You know how many times you get the same question then? And they're so basic.
Yeah, that's well. Even doing this can be deemed social work as well, right?
Sure.
Like last night with Randy, the conversation that was wonderful.
Yeah, it was stellar. I heard.
Because you're dealing with people that are asking the right questions with the right intent, because they are seeking. So for me, it's very easy to answer those questions because someone has got their door open looking for that. They're not waiting for it to be spoon-fed to them. They're actually digging for themselves, and it's like, they might be 3 inches from gold in one thing, and I'll just click that little bit away, and they go, oh, there it is, but they get it. So I didn't give it to them. They remembered it themselves. But the system teaches you to be such a perfect little child, and don't worry, Nanny will wipe your bum.
Yeah, you're supposed to follow and shut up. Instead, I'd rather just feel around than play. And learn off the playing, just like a kid. Never stop learning through playing.
And that's all I was doing. I mean, it was some scary shit I was playing, I got to tell you that much, because, sending emails to all of the people that can and might attack you, and they eventually, well, with me they did. It's just I uncovered a few things that sure just didn't make the system happy at all. And it goes right back down to the name thing, right? And the fact that I'm verbal about it and vocal now every single night, I can only imagine the cringing that goes on.
Yeah, but basically that's all they can do is bark.
Yeah, their bite's harmless.
Yeah.
I told the dream story last night.
We've got the teeth, they've got the bark.
And they have us running with our tails between our legs all the time. And all people have to do is just say enough. So let me hand out another baby step for people. I'm going to do it again. If you've got anything pending or whatever, even mortgages or whatever, all the information you need to play the game is in 2 essays. The long and short of it, and I who shall not be named. Because the bank willfully defrauded you as well. That's where it all comes from, guys. There's your real church on this planet. The bank. And of course, the court, which is church, and sits on a bench, which is bank. How can you not see that they're all one? They're all playing the same game, and we're all buying the same ruse. Maybe start asking your bank manager with regards to your tenancy agreement called a death pledge mortgage. Ask them how it isn't fraud that they've committed by aiding and abetting you in ignorance. Because I assure you, someone up the line in the banks knows what's going on. And they are fully culpable for all of their employees. That's the thing about it, and it goes back to the allegory. There's the same fractal as a mayor of every city is completely liable for all the actions of its officers within its corporate jurisdiction, city limits, because they are the chief magistrate of their corporate city jurisdiction. So any of the judges or cops or whatever, they're all acting in proxy. Anyone that is speaking for the city of Guelph, by law, whatever the case may be, is actually committing fraud, and it goes right up the line to the general.
They're proxy morons, are they?
Yeah, proxy morons. Perfect. There's a beautiful. Ah, nice play on that one.
You're welcome.
Yeah, a bunch of proxy morons. I love it. I'll use that on occasion, and you will get credit for it. That's beautiful. See, guys, there it is. That's the shit I love. That's outside the box thinking. So But anyway, carry on, guys. Yeah, I've talked enough today, I think. I talk enough every day.
Oh, Kate, I got my Arthurian deck today.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yep. It was funny because I was taking a bit of a nap because I've been moving furniture around and my back started twinging a bit. So I thought, okay, have a break. And while I was taking it was more of a trance than a nap. And I went to my sacred place and went through the whole ritual of going underwater and coming up in a cave, kind of an air pocket with one of my guides is just Gaia herself, sitting there with the face of Lindsay Wagner. Don't ask me why, but there she was. And I woke up catching a sword, and I thought, hey, the postman's coming. And then the postman told me, I don't know why, lady, but I had to run to your mailbox. I had to get rid of this parcel real fast. I said, I'd never had that before. And there, lo and behold, was the deck.
So the postal guy actually said he ran to get it to you?
Yeah, he said I felt the urge to run. I said I should have gone by number, but I ran to number 40. That's my door number, and I just had to bring this parcel here. I said it's like it was being pulled there.
It looks like you had a visit from an elf too.
Yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. The paintings are gorgeous. They're yeah.
Beautiful watercolors, absolutely beautiful. The symbolism to die for. Yes.
Yeah. Every card.
Yep.
Yeah, I pulled two this morning. Pulled the Hierophant, number 5 in the major arcana, and Strength, number 8. And there's your 13, right? 13th warrior. So it all makes sense.
Sure.
And something about creation too. Creation already is. It's already there. It's whichever path we choose to walk to get to the creation that we want. And go ahead.
I heard someone saying something interesting. I can't remember where it was, but I said, well, I'm not necessarily looking for the path, but I'm trying to find the soul that's walking on it. I thought that was great, because this path I'm saying, well, I'm not necessarily walking a path or looking for it or a certain way. All I'm looking for is the me that is on the path that's already there. So it was brilliant. Just a side step from you triggered it with the word path.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, really, when we stop and look at it, there isn't a path. There is only infinity in all directions, infinitely around you. You know,
right.
But the path is the allegory of which part of that infinity in which direction you want to go in. You know, Miranda, you're being very quiet. Jump in, hon.
Sorry, darling. I'm feeling very quiet.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. That's all I want. It was just a laugh. That works for me.
Miranda's in chill zone.
Exactly. Yeah, I pulled a couple out of the Mayan Oracle as well. I pulled out Akbal and what was the other one? Very interesting, and Eek. So it's neat. I've got a powerhouse quad going on now with 2 decks, 2 cards each, right? Double duality. So, and what is amazing is how much both of them line up with each other. You know.
I love to pull the. My favourite thing really is the runes. I absolutely love the runes. I've got the Viking runes, and they are always completely on it, and you just need one, and it's like woof. And then of course, if I do the Mayan, it's a replica of exactly what I've pulled, completely in line.
Are they the Futhark runes?
Sorry?
Are they Futhark runes?
The Viking ones, Richard, what's his name? Because somebody gave me a set of runes just recently, which are really lovely. They were clay ones in a beautiful little Hessian sack, and they're really gorgeous. But they're Germanic ones, and they've got different symbols on.
Okay.
Yeah, and I couldn't get with those because I like the ones that I already have because I recognise them.
Right.
more.
There's different rune alphabets. So just the Futharkus is the one of the Vikings.
Yeah, there's quite a few, aren't there?
Mhm.
What I'd really like to do though is get some nice chestnut wood and actually make my own. I think that personally, really, when you get really deep into it, you need to. Then the same. I've been feeling that about the tarot. I've got the Celtic tarot, which I adore. It's absolutely beautiful, but it's not very pictorial. And so, you know what I mean? When you pick up a number 2, it's just symbols of 2. It's not.
Yeah, I have the same ones.
Yeah, they're really beautiful, but they're not so easy to read.
They're very abstract. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very hard to read. They're a skill apart. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to find a tarot deck that I really like. And I had the Druid one, but I've got very small hands. And why is it they have to make tarot cards so damn big? You know what I mean? Why can't they be the same size, a little bit bigger than playing cards? But the Druid ones I actually had to cut all the borders off all of the cards so I could actually shuffle them. They were that big. It was ridiculous.
Well, the Arthurian deck is brilliant. It's the first one that I can shuffle properly.
Oh, okay. I'll have to have a look at that. But there's an incredible woman who's done like an Art Nouveau, really beautiful deck, and it's round. I'll have to find the thing. Absolutely gorgeous. Very sort of, I don't know, Art Nouveau and very 1920s. Beautiful.
You can steal as well, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. The Dreamtime deck, the Aboriginal Dream, is round as well. So the cards have to be round because they symbolise Gaia, or the Earth, the Terra.
And somehow it makes sense to me, round. I mean, I know a lot of people like to read, upside down and the right way up, etc., reverse and etc. But I don't know, somehow to me, round cards, I don't know whether that's a female thing, that feels right, that they should be round.
I don't think you need to specify if the card's upside down or not. It's always its picture and its mirror.
Yeah.
Why would it be one or the other? There's the split thing again. It doesn't work. Yeah, that one just landed too. That just hit.
Yeah, and make you go,
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to get the guy weed whacking over here, so it's hit and miss right now. Yeah, I have the Celtic Tarot deck. Doesn't resonate with me at all.
Oh,
I know how to read the knots, but it works a bit different. Tarot, some symbols don't work in a tarot environment. The knots are great to just. I've got a few of them enlarged, about the size of a watermelon, in black and white, and I'll just sit there and stare at them, just like the Platonic figures. Just stare at them, because the right side of your brain just does all kinds of magic. It triggers and sparks off all kinds of shit, and it's only completely silent and non-analytical. So the knots don't work in a tarot.
Yeah.
They've got a different. They're a different tool.
I gotta do a shout out here for Kevin, buddy. Call in because you've got a rather unique perspective on things, and I have had conversation with you, and you really should, lose this whole potential of being nervous on the air.
But we're not on the air. We're just having a chat.
We're having a chat around the table. Exactly. So there we go. One sec. Let's open this up. Now, it says Alexis Chastity, but who we got?
Hi, Kate.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, I'm pretty scared shitless right now.
Oh, good. Welcome to our club.
Yeah, felt like you were calling me out specifically, even though you weren't talking to me specifically. The universe has definitely laid out the proverbial butt kick that it's time for me to start speaking here. So.
See, that's the joy of not specifically speaking to one person, because I'm specifically speaking to all.
Yes, and I'm definitely feeling that very profound feeling right now. I have a very crazy story to tell. I'm not Canadian, but I am from the lands of Kanata and Métis, a long lineage on these lands, and it's led to an interesting situation that really pertains to a lot of the things that you're talking about. But the reason I'm nervous is because I really have to hang my bare ass to a jury of my peers, so to speak, although I know you of all people, all of you ladies here would know judge not lest you be judged.
And it's a very nice ass.
Bear it all, baby.
I thought maybe a good way to kind of ease into it, if you guys seem really skilled at this, if you guys could maybe do my numerology and my numbers first, and then I'll kind of get into it. Would you be able to do that possibly?
I'm not a reader of that stuff, but I'll put that out to the other ladies because I have my tarot. That's what I deal with. I know basics about numerology with me and how the numbers work with me. That's all basically self-learned. But
so I was born September 11th, 1981.
Of course you were. What I want you to do is call in on Friday when Santo is here, and I'm going to get him to start reading charts a bit earlier because I always feel extreme pressure. I feel everybody's energy going, I want my chart read. So what I would say with that is, if Mary was around, Mary's Rainbow, or Cole, they could do an exceptional read for you on that stuff. But I work in my area, they work in theirs. And go ahead.
I gave a bit of a call out to the universe to kind of kick me in the butt on Friday when you were doing syncretism, and Santos actually said my part of my name. He used the word Lex. And then he also said my middle name, Chastity, which is kind of why I knew that it was time for me to quit being a chicken and to come and start this. But that's okay. I'll leave that for right now, and I'm going to kind of just start getting into this situation, if I may. So here in Canada, I'm realizing I have a wall that one of my little puzzle pieces, objectives, needs to be brought down with my situation, and that's that when I was young, when I was about 20, 21, I got into some trouble in the Canadian corporation. I've never hurt another being in my life. Well, I mean, intentionally or anything like that, but I got in trouble in the Canadian corporation, and they charged me in their system, and I had to start the pardons process quite a few years ago.
The which process?
The pardons process.
Oh, I'm going to add you to my contacts. You and me, kiddo, we're going to have a little chat one-on-one. I'm probably, you may not be aware, but I've worked with Native groups. You know that, right?
I don't, but that's good to know because it does have relevance.
I would like you to be the first Native to actually get what it is I'm saying. If you're into it, I can only give you the truth to hand stuff back to them. As far as the pardon process is, that's a load of bullshit because it wasn't you that was charged; it was the name.
Exactly, and that
nothing to do with you.
Yeah, I know. That's but where it has nothing to do with me especially anymore is now the lovely Harper government has changed all of the quote-unquote rules of their own system, and they have, by their own claim of the numbers, they have 22,000 people caught in a cull right now where these people are trapped in this process, with no way. They, unlike me, at least I have the blessing of knowing that I am not that name, and I'm completely free. I'm so fully self-employed. I have nothing to do with the name or their numbers or any of their system. I don't have anything to do with it. But sorry.
Well, how would you like me to spend a little time with you and arm you up with a chainsaw of chainsaws?
Yeah, I would love that, Kate.
Okay, then we do that. You play. You want to play football? And one they can't hit?
I would love to do that.
Okay, because they can't even swing. See, we're getting our weed whacker message. That sounds an awful lot like a chainsaw, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Yeah. Listen to the universe. It speaks loudly.
Yeah.
Everything matters. Yeah, so tell you what, I'm going to open up my Skype here, and let me just do a little search for your name. Let me see if I got that. Yeah, there you are. Oh, you're a stunner. Look at you out in Vancouver. There we go. And, you're already in my contacts.
Yeah.
And you're not in the room yet? 1 second here. I'm a sloppy, tardy bitch. Let me get you sorted out.
I'm in the left room.
Oh, are you? Oh, okay. Well, then.
Yeah, I'm a little quiet.
Oh, yes, you are. We need you to get a bit noisy, girl.
I'm trying to break that down. It's one of the things I got to kind of overcome. But,
no, you don't. You don't have to overcome anything. Let's just decide that it's done, shall we?
I agree. Absolutely.
Well, you're God, so I'm just kind of empowering you. Is that all right?
Please do.
You okay with that? I thought you might be. It's time to make you into the creator that you are. Return you home, as it were. Yeah, you and me are going to have a look at that tomorrow.
I would love that.
Okay, and we're going to do a little going over some information, and I'm going to show you how to make something yours. Because you're going to fully understand it, and you're going to have such a giggle going on, and you're going to start firing this shit right into the belly of the beast. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Well, there's no point in shooting arrows into its ass. You might as well take its heart out, yeah?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready.
You just proved it. You're here. See, everybody that's tuned in right now, okay, and I know you're tuned in, and I keep saying that because I really need people to get the allegory here. What you're seeing right now is consciousness activating. This is where we finally get to the point where we've had enough, and then we start playing. And can I share something with you guys? It's not scary at all. When you have the sword of truth, when you have Excalibur wielding in front of you, where do you see the swaths you cut? Where do you see the beast get real nervous because its armor is removed, the breastplate is gone, and there's a little X right where the heart is? Better yet, it's got its hands tied behind its back. It's gagged.
Yeah.
We take the beast out.
Yeah, and that's what it is. That's definitely, yeah.
Well, I'm tired of doing it myself, you know. I mean, there's a handful of people that do this. We need more than a handful. We need baby stepping people that are saying, I'm no longer afraid to send an email or to send a letter. I'm no longer afraid to put my intention out there.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing. When I send an email, I'm not sending words, I'm sending my intention through the ether. And I don't care if I get a response or not, because I'm God. I don't need a response. I am the respawn of my intention.
Not asking, I'm telling.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Here's how it is. Get used to it.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously, none of us wish anyone any harm. Yeah, we've had our run-ins in our lives. You know, shit happens, and you know, we get hurt, someone else gets hurt, be it emotional or you know, occasionally physical. It's not because you're out swinging at people. It's just you know, you can bump into somebody in the street, and it's you know, that was unintentional, but you know, you can still treat it as harm. You know, you invaded someone's space. We got to get over this.
Yeah.
So this is the guilt program of the ego. Right, we got to lose it, because until we do, that's why guilt is so powerful, to keep the fear in place.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead, hon. Go ahead.
That's why my reason for comment, and I'm willing to even publicly, like, to put myself out there, just for those people that don't know, like, what they're doing with this process, with the pardon process. They're attacking what they deem the weakest, most fearful people that would just take it, and they are no less equal than anyone else.
Exactly. What we're dealing with here is everyone still choosing to be the fruit on the ground, easy picking, and the low fruit. What I'm offering is the opportunity to climb that tree a little bit and become the high fruit, where they don't want to pick you, and two, they haven't got ladders high enough to get to you.
Yeah.
It's not that tough. What we need are not just individuals taking baby steps. We need all the babies stepping, and that's what we are. And they're going to treat us like that. And when you see the allegory of it, that's why they want to be the parent, so they keep everyone thinking that they're grown-up children. Why I want my check? Why I want my food stamps? Why I want this and why I want that? And okay, and they'll give you whatever they feel that will be enough to shut you up.
And I think that's why, again, just when we come into this life, before we are born, we choose to come in as a certain identity or nationality. Not that those things are better than anyone else or anything, but
it's experience, contrast of experience. That's all it is.
Yeah, and stones that go into place, and that's just another piece in my puzzle of being Métis. Like, I've never accepted any of their handouts. Nothing. I spit on. I don't want any of it. But is why.
I was going to say, one of the experiences I had, and I made a truism, i.e. a joke, out of it, and I, dealing with people within Native community, and there's some genuines that get what it is I'm saying, but they're so few in number. They're outnumbered by the paid force, i.e. the typical band council that is owned and operated by the Canadian government. How do you stop an advancing army of? It doesn't matter. I like to use. And I don't want to offend anybody. Okay, so just keep this in mind. This is the ego. If you are offended, it's ego. You need to see the allegory. How do you stop an advancing army of Mohawk? Well, easy. Throw them a government check.
I agree.
And that's what I was seeing. I was seeing these beautiful people with all this desire and want. And, they'd get so far, and then, of course, you want a casino? Here you go. Oh, you want this? Oh, here you go. You want to do that? Well, there you go. They just keep buying you off. That's level one.
Absolutely. I've agreed with that my whole life. I've never accepted any of that. Never been interested in it. No.
So you're Métis, so that means you're a two-spirit.
It's funny you say that, yeah.
Yeah, you, Ninja's a two-spirit too, aren't you, Ninja?
Yeah, seemingly.
So am I. Takes one to see one. You're a two-spirit is one who walks between worlds, and we can all choose to be that. Which worlds are you walking between? Me was masculine and feminine. I had to center on the energy.
Well, the irony of it is it's been Métis married Métis for hundreds of years, but the very first origin of how my Métis started was Princess Nehoe of the Swampy Cree, the chief's daughter, was given to the chief governing factor of the Hudson Bay Company.
They love to do that. They love owning stuff through marriage.
Yeah.
Infest the bloodlines. We have Carol. I think it's Carol jumping in, and memory serves, possibly Tracy. So, before everyone gets going here, we're going to roll over. We're about just over 7 minutes into the recording. If you want to get in the call, please just refresh the page and hit the Skype button, the page you're listening to. And if it doesn't happen first time, just refresh it. Well, I had to go through all this. It's a nightmare. It's a pain in the ass, but it does work, okay? Or call in at area code 661-467-2401. And while I'm at it, I'm going to do my shout-out to the beautiful intent that has been given and received from criticalmassradio.co.uk. Paul, Giovanni, Lisa, the crew, Ben, who follows my show on Tuesdays, everybody there. Yeah, I'm gonna do my best to get to know everybody a whole lot better. Thank you guys so much for. Here we are for this table. Thank you. Okay, so.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So what's up with you?
Good. Well, I wasn't sure if Carol's on. I would like to hear her. Is she coming on to say hello?
I was thinking
that Carol might be coming on.
Well, yeah, I think it might be her, but I'm not sure. I've opened up all the lines, so whoever hasn't said anything yet, you're the one you're the one we're waiting for.
Oh, that's nice because I'm so bossy. I just jumped in on just now, and I didn't hear our original sister's name, but I did get her birthday, and I was wondering if she'd be willing to give her time and place of birth, so if I can help her out with astrology to understand herself, if she would like.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I was born in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
I'm sorry. There's a long name. Can you spell it for me?
Saskatoon. Saskatoon. Is the city?
Saskatoon.
Sorry. That's very foreign to me. I'm sorry. And, okay, go ahead.
Did you want the province as well, or just the city?
Please.
Well, that S-A-S-K. It's Saskatchewan, but it'll come up S-A-S-K.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the native words.
No, it's not.
That's a province. It's actually Saskatchewan, Canada. It's
I know. I'm in America.
Doesn't matter.
It's a weird word. Yeah, it's a complex word.
Yeah,
that's okay. It's just unfamiliar to me. And do you have the time?
7:31 a.m.
Wow, beautiful. And I missed your name. I heard Lex Chastity. That's when I jumped in. But whatever you're comfortable with, your name?
Oh, no, it's Alexis Chastity Buchanan.
Buchanan, no less.
Wow, right? My name's Tracy Whitten.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi. And, God bless you, warrior. If you don't mind, I'm not as connected as...
I can't believe you
guys,
used that word, Tracy. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, guys, just let me jump in here.
Yeah.
We're getting derailed. So what I'm going to suggest you do, because it takes a bit of time to look at it, what I'll ask you to do, Trace, is pull up her chart, and maybe you guys can connect on Facebook.
Oh. Can I ask, are you part of Kate's Facebook?
Yep.
Okay, my name's Tracy Whitten on Kate's Facebook.
Okay.
I don't usually communicate or anything, but you can find me there. I'll say hello, and then I'll do your chart. And if you want to privately communicate, that'd be great.
Thank you, and thank you for everyone's time with this. It's Tracy Whitman, right?
Whitman. You'll see me.
Yep.
It's all simple and it's very simple. Okay,
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for sharing your story. And you know what? You're not alone. You're very much loved, and the power here, power there.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, Kate. You're welcome.
Oh, hey, it's all good. It's all good. The number that hasn't spoken up yet is 111-111-1111. So I don't know who the hell that is.
Don't invite it. Oh, let's go.
No.
I'm going to mute out while you slay.
No, I just want to find out who hasn't talked on the call yet. You're the one that the number I called out is the one that hasn't talked yet. Your line's open. You put your hand up. Hello. Anybody there? Okay, I'm not hearing you.
I'm only hearing a chainsaw.
Yeah, that's all I'm hearing. Pencil or something in the background. So
yep.
that and the weed whacker. That's me though. That's on this end. Okay, well I'll mute that back out then. Obviously they don't want to jump in here, so I know who's involved in the call. Yes, by all means, guys. Put your hand up if you want to jump in here. But excuse me. I'll tell you what resonated with me, Alexis, is the name of my main writing guitar. Did you know that?
No.
So I'm looking for the allegories here, right? That's why I mentioned the fact that you're Métis is two-spirit. So I look for connections, so... I just got word from Kevin. He's having a hell of an issue trying to get in here. I want to hear from Kevin tonight, so I'm going to drag his ass in. I don't like doing this because it overloads my Skype, but it should be okay with one. Now, let me see. Oops, better go to that first. And do this. And hopefully Kevin's there. We got a minute till we roll over. Yeah, there's a bit of background noise, guys. So if you can mute out, that would be great. If you're not talking.
Do you want me to show off?
Oh yeah, you'll have to turn it off, Kevin. That was you. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, I'll get that done.
Hopefully Kevin's there. Yeah, because you're in the show now. You don't need to listen to it. You are it. You're in the show in real time. No more delay.
Oh, excellent. There you are. How nice to be out there and not panicking so much. Thank you for the nice input to get me in.
No worries.
Hey, Kat, it's my lovely Kevin from London. Hello, darling.
Hello, my wee girl, and how are you?
I'm very well. How are you? I recognise that voice anywhere.
It is a lovely Welsh accent, but last time Kate heard it with Santos, I sounded like a screaming banshee. There you are. How are you, Miranda?
I'm very well, darling. Very well indeed. And I spoke to Andrew the other day.
Oh, Mr. Weber, yes, I've been on to him, and he's going to come on the Kate show. It's a definite. But he's going to he's writing a book. I don't know if you knew. This is the last message I got, so he's a bit busy at the moment. But our wee man is going to come on, and we're going to get the other half of the show right along with us.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah, I had mentioned that when you told me that Andrew was writing the book, and I did mention that he would definitely be on it at some point whenever his schedule permitted and allowed for it. So thank you very much for that. It'd be great to hear from the Wee Master.
He is, honestly. I was so lucky to have him for a house guest for a week, and the knowledge that he inputted into me over that week was just so simple and easy. I'm not a big word person. I like simple, easy ways. And he explained it so easy to me. It was simple. And I'm now at the stage pretty much of drinking it in front of people in the underground. Expect a few videos soon.
Nothing like planting the seed in real time. That's why I love you, Kevin. Fearless. See, that's what I'm talking about. Here's a guy that will drink his wee in the friggin' subway underground, and has an issue coming on. Are you kidding me, Kevin? Oh my God. Really? Seriously? Well done. Well done.
Hey, Kevin.
Hello. Is that Ninja? Hello,
yeah, hi.
there.
Are you in London?
I am in London, Ninja, yes. Finsbury Park District.
Oh, I know it. Yeah, I give my love to London and the Underground. I miss it sometimes, but not very much. Because I am from London myself.
I don't blame you. Sometimes I wonder what I'm doing here, but I've got to take the fight to them. And I like to punch above my weight. And,
punch above your weight.
Kevin, can you do me a favor?
I can.
Can you set your Skype to Do Not Disturb? Stops all the beeps.
I can do that.
Please?
Believe I can. Got you. There you are. That is done.
Good, thank you. I waited until I heard you give me the okay, and then I hit it. Otherwise, I heard the beep. So thank you for that. Now, it's just you're in the chat rooms, and they're very active, so just want to, keep the beeps down. Yeah, anyway, it's you were discussing a few things beyond the we in the room, and I just want to go back to it. There was about the number 22. What was your resonation on that?
Oh, 22. Oh, my dear. Now, we are literally going back 22 years ago. And I went through care. I had a very early wake-up call. Most of my friends, when I was in school, are now solicitors, doctors. I was top of the top. My mother's boyfriend beat me up. I went into care, into Merthyr Tydfil. First thing they did was shove 150 magic mushrooms down my neck. I was expecting the worst time of my life. No, I had this beautiful light come to me, tell me everything was going to be all right. And ever since that day, I was chasing it, chasing the light in my head. I can just click and I'm there now. But 22 came along a few years later than that, because my wake-up calls have been about 4 or 5. They come, I go to sleep, then they hit me back again. But 22, there was not a time I could not open a book to 22, wake up without it being 2:22, without it being 11:11. And I'm going back 22 years ago, and I've seen it all recently, and I giggle to myself. If you Google it, you'll find a website called for people who see number 22 all the time. I think it was me and my mates that set this up. Russ is his name, and it's still running to this day. But this is what I realized. I realized that there was more to it than just the number 22. Now, I guarantee, if I disclose this, all of your listeners will realize it and see it. And I have to now. 22, you look at all your headlines. They will always have a 22 in it. And I mean from Bilderberg even, there was 220 rooms. There's 220 million missing. There's 22 this, 22 that. I realized it was, and as you said, catch 22, and I had to think about that. Is it a locked door, or is it catching in both hands? 44 started to turn up. Bible, 44, God's number. All right, I can understand. Eventually, I just want to double it. How do I get to 88? And what would 88 mean? 88 is infinity, or 8 is infinity. So I got 2 infinities. Oh, infinity on this side, infinity on the other side. Oh, there's a nice match. And you could even break it down to 4 circles. We could go on and on. But I really do think these numbers, I haven't got all the answers, and nobody ever will.
Well, I was going to jump in on the 22 for a perspective share on it, and it's something I've been mentioning lately, because I've been talking a bit more about the quad nature of reality, right? Not so much the duality, right? Because when you look at the divine masculine, divine feminine, there is both good and evil on each side of that. So that's actually a quad. So when I looked at that, I see the one side, of course, being Gemini. I always see the twins, or the 2 pillars. So what we have is 11 and 11. Right?
Okay.
So now that all the ones together can equal 4, which is the quad. Or you take the 11 and the 11, turning it, adding it together, you create the master number of the duality within duality.
No, you've got to go number twice, because when you've got your 88 case...
no, I realize that. I was just getting one layer. Yeah, I got you. Keep going.
So that's what I would say to there. I would say, yeah, it's on the way. I really could not explain everything to do with it. Whenever I pointed it out to people, they always come back onto me. Only yesterday I had an email of a girl called DJ, not an email, a message. She goes, since I last spoke to you, I keep seeing numbers all the time now. 55, 55, 55, always. I said, do not panic. I said, the more you see it, the closer you are to God. Yeah? The one, Yeah. To the one conscience. So, I really try to keep things simple, and I do like the stars. As there's only 12, you'd have. How would you talk to an alien? You'd have a point. Then you'd have 3 points, and then you'd have to have 12 points. As in, you'd have the earth, air, fire, water, spirit, such, and it does all move on. But I think these codes, when they come out, I think they're for people in general. And maybe I was lucky to have had it so many years ago. And I disclosed, really, and a lot of people, I hope it does help. But I will still say it's meant for that person only.
Yep.
And when you see these numbers or something, you've got to close your head, actually, is right, and notice what it is that you've got to notice. And then you get to the point where you know what's going to happen next. And I think that's where the magic of these numbers actually comes in. Sorry, Kate, I am talking over and taking on all that.
That's fine. That's why you're here, bud. With me, that's why this table is here, for everyone to bring their perspectives. But you bang on as far as the puzzle piece that each of us has is ours and ours only. We are one individual frequency within the infinite frequency ranges, right? So there are things that matter only to you and your experience. And I've said this all along. It's you need to find your way. You need to find your clues. I found mine, and I've tried to share, how I looked for things with people so they can start looking for themselves to see the clues that they have. I mean, some of mine were a bit more blatant than the average individual. Call me a cheat if you want. Doesn't matter. I'll come in as a two-spirit and I'll figure it all out. But it's a mirror that you have to look into for yourself. I can offer up the ways I found my clues. There are no answers because what Kevin's talking about are very, very personal things to you and you alone. No one else can see what you see from your perspective. All you can do is see what you see and try to share that with the rest of us. And when we all click on it, that's when resonance happens. And then we have an agreement because it's something that we can accept as a unified truth. It's not your truth, it's not mine, it simply is. We're the ones that need to resonate with it. The truth will always be. And that in itself is a concept. The right answer, call it whatever you want. But creation is perfect. Our ability to see it has been made imperfect to have a game. So, yeah, we're just trying to shave off the rough edges here. And there's nothing I love more than watching people click on their pieces. And I'm seeing it so much more now than I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's happening so much faster as well. Is it a coincidence that Alexis shows up tonight? And last night I was talking about Alexis, my guitar. So of course Alexis had to show up. Because Alexis, my guitar, is not in my material universe, so the universe had to bring that back in. It was obviously called out, and there you are, Alexis. So we're going to play some songs, okay? You and me. We're going to write some original music. Fair?
I just looked up Alexis's chart.
What's that?
Incredible. This is Tracy. I just looked up Alexis's chart.
Okay.
Insane, incredible. Obviously, it's intricate and a lot of information, but wow. Beautiful, intense. Of course, you're going to have struggles, but you got all of it, Alexis.
Yeah, well,
it's very strange. I'll have to look into it, but wow.
Yeah, well, she had me at Alexis and September 11th because there's the proverbial 9/11, and there's where I went to the Two-Spirit, Twin Towers. And then I hear that we're talking Métis, so of course it's verified in the allegory. This is what I'm talking about. All your clues.
4, 5. She has 5 planets in Libra in the first house. That's incredible.
Here to fix a few things, are you, Alexis?
And she has the sun in the 12th, which means she's a repeating spirit. So she came on purpose, for sure.
Tracy, where's her Chiron?
I'm sorry?
Where's her Chiron?
Let me look a second. I don't think I put them in this particular chart, but it is possible. You're part of this Ninja, yeah? You're part of the Facebook, right? Of Kids Facebook? I have to make sure that I got the information correct.
Sorry. Hey, Tracy, who's Facebook?
Kate.
Oh, okay. I was hearing something else. Go ahead, keep going. I just want to make sure everyone got it. It's kate.renee.5. There you go.
Yes, correct. I don't participate. I only participate in 2 Facebooks. So I just want to make sure I got the information correct, and then, but if this is true, her Chiron is in the 9th house Taurus. Let me make sure. Yep, 22 degrees Taurus. If it's correct, I need to check with her, but incredible. So, girl, you are a power. I'm a major. She has Saturn, Mercury, Jupiter in the first house, conjunct everything, Pluto, Venus, second house, all conjunct in Libra. Well, that's crazy. You are the woman. And some nice aspects here.
Thank you so much for that, Tracy.
You're welcome. It is more in depth. I just wanted to share that since he brought you back in, and I don't mean to interrupt, Kate. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
I just wanted to share that with her.
We were talking about bare ass earlier, so it had to come up.
Yeah. Oh my God. Ass. Wow.
So you just bared your assets. There it is. That's perfect.
Oh, you have nothing to fear, babe. You will have complications, but you have nothing to fear at all. At all. You are definitely on purpose here.
I knew
you have everything, all the strength. Oh my gosh. I will have to look in, and it does take several hours to do this, but it's just the beginning. I just wanted to share that fear nothing.
Thank you.
Absolutely not. You are backed up by not only Kate and her audience and your own experience and your ancestry, and that they did wrong, and everything is lined up huge.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. And I'll contact you on Facebook to make sure I have my information correct, and I'll walk you through this if you're interested.
Awesome. Much thanks.
Not a problem.
Now you're glad you showed up.
Not that she needs me, but I think it will help you to understand. You have a strong Mercury. You have a strong everything. Wow. You're a very intense person. Very smart, very intense, very deep.
Yeah, I knew when I was a child, but then it all got broken away. Like it all got it all got stripped down. So I'm just trying to rebuild it.
Yeah,
so.
That's all right. You actually have everything within you. It did. Well, they like to think that it got stripped away, but it didn't. It's all there. It's all in you. And I'll help you break it apart and look at it, and then you'll know that they had no power at all. Very simple.
Okay.
We're gonna. I was going to say we'll play on the physical level because the ego may need a little proof, and I'm going to show you how this works.
Exactly. Just understand, ego needs to be understood so that it can be transcended. That's all.
Yeah, the only thing I want to convey to people is about how to remove the fear and lose the fear. And that way, not only when you're speaking, you're standing in your power. And we've been on shaky ground for a very long time, many lifetimes, and we are like babes in the woods here, taking our first wobbly steps. It goes back to the Dan Folger word, run for the roses. We got wobbly knees, but we're born thoroughbred. We are the pures, and this is creation, the allegory of. So it's not that tough to do. The hardest choice to make is to decide to just take that step. And guys, everything I've done, I had to walk into the unknown. Everything I did was a first time. I didn't have anyone to understand where I was seeing things from. I couldn't explain what I was seeing and how I was seeing it and why I was doing the things I was doing from an ethereal perspective. So everything I did completely on faith of and trust in myself, because it felt right. And of course, once it feels right, and you think it into and it's logical, there's no way. Well, there is. You can chicken out and run from it. I could have saw years ago that all mortgages and all loans, everything in the system is fraud, and I could continue aiding and abetting in the harming of my fellow humanity. But I couldn't do that anymore. You see, and the longer we take these steps, you're not just harming yourself, you're harming everyone, yourself included. And the universe has a big pendulum for that. And it will come back. I promise you that. This is why I give the disclaimer now. If you can't handle the truth, don't tune in here. Because we're going to hand out some pretty powerful things. And you're going to click. And you're going to understand stuff. And when you do, you now have a responsibility. And not only that, for that gift, this is the only time gifts become obligation, because you went out shopping for it. You have the obligation to stand in it. And if you don't, well, you'll see. It's a 22. There's that 22 coming back again. So it's time to get past the catch-22 and just do. I did want to do a quick mirror of the opt versus this free world press thing or whatever the hell it is. I hope that wasn't me. You guys still hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, because I wasn't sure. I just heard a bleep, so somebody dropped off. Opt versus this freeworldcharter.org thing. Instead of offering you all the money in the world, they're now telling you that everything is free, just sign here. So it's a complete mirror opposite. Right? And selling the same shit. They just packaged it differently. It's the same carrot. And when I see people, websites come up that say, just sign the petition here, you're Kevin, mute out, buddy. Getting feedback. There we go. Where was I? Just got derailed.
Okay.
No, it's all good.
When it's for free.
Oh, yeah.
Signing
again,
here.
Yeah, signing, you're giving away your divine feminine essence. Anytime you agree with something as a savior outside of you, and that's all these things are. If they look like they're there to sign here, we're going to save the world, we're going to save you, we're going to save everybody, that is a savior program. Learn to see them immediately, spot them. And if they're asking for your signature, they're asking for your soul. Remember the allegory of the devil, selling the devil your soul, just sign here? Anytime you see just sign here anywhere, that's exactly what you're doing. You vote, you give away your power. You voted someone via election or electricity into power, and it's your power that they've taken. They haven't actually taken it. You've gifted it to them. And when the hammers of Hades start coming down based on government decisions, it's like what you said earlier, Alexis, about Harper and the gang changing the rules. What the fuck do you expect from lawyers? That's what they do. They do it all the time. They make the rules that they want everyone to follow, and as soon as we find the way around them, they change them. That's what system does. And this is you want to invite these people over for a game of Monopoly? They won't get once around the board before someone's slugging them. You know, you want to put the fox in charge of the hen house, then expect your chickens to get eaten. And it's your own damn fault. You want to play with a whore, expect herpes. That's how it works. And herpes, that's the gift that keeps on giving. That's a lifer. So it's time to remove the cysts. That's what herpes is, cyst, right? To get out of the system. Oh, it all connects back. Everything is an allegory within an allegory everywhere. You can follow that trail everywhere, and everything connects. Quite the web we have here. But once you understand how the web works, now you can climb it like a spider. And become the spider woman of creation. The allegory from the natives, I believe. So there you go. We got the tools. Having the tools is, you know, I've met so many people with awesome sets of tools and couldn't swing a hammer to save their life. But they got a great tool set. They don't know how to use the router. They sure as hell don't know what a planer's for. But they got all the tools. They got all the toys in their workshops, and they never set foot in there. The only thing they go in for is into their, one of their screw jars to get a screw to fix something and a screwdriver. Yet they've got the ability to make anything they want, but they don't want to. Well, I've got the tools, so I'm special. My favorite one was this. People, I've met so many people that would go into business, self-employed. Now I'm self-employed. So they get the ego gets this, I'm self-employed now. Ha ha, I'm really important now because I'm my own boss. And 90+% of those businesses fail in the first year. Why? Because they forget that they actually still have to work. And here was the thing. I used to say this all the time. As being a self-employed general contractor and musician, I only had to work half days. I just had to choose which 12 hours I was going to work. That's the difference. That's where doing comes into play. And the gift that I was given and what I can share here is all that experience of what I've been through and what it has, in the physical, literal sense, what it has cost me here. But what have I gained spiritually? Oh, it's priceless. Why do you think I want to share this? And I'll share it for as long as I can. As long as the universe wills it, I'm in the flow now. I have no expectations anymore. I don't expect anyone to use any of the documents that I've written. I don't expect anyone to understand it. I don't expect you to get it. I don't expect you to take one single baby step. Because I'll be honest, the track record has proven that very few ever will. Only those. That's why I said that in the last essays. This game is not for the faint of heart or the weak of spirit. But I'll tell you, if you want something, anything worth having is worth earning. There is a price to pay. And the price is always the ego. And the ego is the insatiable, tricky little bastard that says, feed me, sex me, make me pretty, make me this, do this, I want to be comfortable, I want to be warm, I want to be cool, I want to be, all the rest of it. And you'll look around and you'll see the vast majority of people on this planet. That's the only motivation they've got. Ego is only involved in one thing, survival. And the better the survival, the happier the ego. The happier the ego, the less control you have as a spirit. That's why I like pissing the little thing off. It took a long time to get there. Yeah, go ahead.
I had a question because I've felt this my whole life, but now I'm really... I'm not angry anymore. I'm just irritated about it. It really does seem like nobody can see beyond their next either paycheck or high, or
that's by design.
They don't even comprehend. Is it because they don't feel pain? I really.
No, they're comfortable.
It's upsetting to me. I know, right?
They're comfortable.
They don't even dream like something might be beyond this.
Doesn't
like
matter.
your own apartment or.
Just get on with your own dream. They'll wake up in their own time. Don't bother with it.
Yeah,
all right. Well, I was talking about my son mostly, which I'm having a dilemma with.
Yeah, and he was somebody else's son, daughter, grandfather, grandmother, mother, father, whatever, in someone else's other lifetime.
All right.
Yeah. When was the last time you thought of your kids from the last life? Just now.
I know, but it just seems like there's no hunger, or there's no passion, there's no.
Oh, there is. Can I tell you where it shows? Can I show you where? Let me tell you where. Yeah, let me share with you where it shows up.
Yes, please do.
It shows up when their world gets crushed. That's why we have the awakening. It's not up to you.
I don't want to be the one.
Who cares?
All right. Thank you. It was a big dilemma for me.
It's not a dilemma at all.
He's 17 and, you know.
The only thing you gave him was your DNA, and only half of that.
Yes.
That consciousness is infinite. It's got nothing to do with you.
Good. So I'm free, and so is he.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right.
Everyone,
good enough.
You got to let go.
Bingo.
I will. I can. Absolutely. I'm ready. I'm tired.
I'd like to say they might come from you, but they don't belong to you. They belong to the world.
I never
itself.
thought that way. No, I never treated my children that way. I was just confused about it. Seems like things are dumbed down or numbed down, or did I not?
Seems.
Was I not strong enough or hard enough? You know, there's no pain is a motivator. I know it sucks on this 3D, but pain motivated me to go out into the world. You know.
Well, that's exactly what has to happen, and one of the reasons why you're seeing the awakening. Look what happened. You know, late in the 90s and early in the 2000s. You know, even with 9/11. Remember that big right after the Berlin Wall came down. There was this elation, and then people, of course, started you know free money, basically using their houses as ATMs. And then you had you know people walking in, working at Denny's, getting an $800,000 house, no money down, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what was being set up there was this, setting people up into this false illusion of security, and this is the good and evil at the same time. So pay attention, everyone. These people would get into situations of all this amazing bliss with no means to cover it and all the rest of it, and then they get to experience bliss, and then of course that gets shattered because they can't cover the mortgages, and that's why they had all these defaults on mortgages. The system's going to come down because it can't sustain itself based on this illusion. It has to. There's it's all illusion. So one of the reasons
what upsets me is why doesn't anybody care about like quality or nobody cares about anything, whether you're a woodworker or a...
You're assuming more than you need to, hon. Just observe it.
All right. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just observe it. All
right.
A compassionate heart has a heart...
That was a statement. That was a statement and a half. Nobody cares about quality, woodworkers. How do you even know that?
Because I'm a woodworker.
Well, that's you then. You're the one who doesn't care. Are you saying you're the one? What are you saying?
Wow. Maybe I'll take that into consideration.
I know people that care very much about their craft. That's a broad statement I wouldn't make.
No, right. I do take things personally, and that's true. But I'm currently, in my current situation, I used to be a master, and now they can go buy it at Walmart, particle board. And,
you're talking about it that way. Okay, now
I understand. Yes, I take it personally, Ninja. I'm sorry.
No, you got it. You said it in such a way that it sounded to me like you meant that
it was a full broadcast.
That your people, that you don't care. No, I didn't mean that. That's why I'm on the call. I was just wondering in a general sense, in Lakewood, Colorado.
Okay, guys. Hang on. I'm going to play. I'm I'm going to play referee here because you're doing it again, Tracy, and I need you to let people finish without jumping in with a yeah or okay or I know and all the rest, and let them finish their full idea. Treat it like two-way radio, okay? Because when you step on other people when they're talking, especially me, because as soon as I'm trying to answer something, it only takes somebody to say something to derail me. That's how tenuous the connection for downloads is. That's how alert I am. Everything, I hear and feel everything immediately. So that's why when I'm downloading and sharing stuff, just let me finish, and you'll know when I'm done, and then jump in. And same with everybody else, and same with you. Let you finish your statements. So let others.
Understood.
And I'm telling this to everybody, be mindful. It's like two-way radio here. We cannot sit like we're at a table where 3 and 4 people can talk at the same time. We can't do that at this platform. So just, do I have to say, okay, guys, when I'm finished, I'm going to say over, and everyone has to say that too. Blah, 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 over. I generally say, okay, mini rant's over. All right, so just be mindful of everyone. When someone is sharing something, don't let them finish their concept, let them finish their idea, and then add to it there. That way we're not stepping all over the hell over everybody and each other. So, okay?
Roger, over. Thank you.
Roger, over.
Yeah, apologies for interrupting you there, Kate. I did that. I'm aware of it now. No, but it's just, I can't believe that I get riled because I buy into it, and I really need to stop doing that. So thanks again for pointing that out to me, Tracy. I love you for it.
There you go. We all work together here, guys. There is no competition at all. That's the part about this that really sucks. And when things in our lives get interfered with, especially from the large corporates, you start to see the natural destruction of the real art versus a machine that punches them out, which is empty and worthless. Trinkets and garbage, as I call it. Walk into any Walmart or Tesco, and all I see is a future landfill site.
Agreed. And I just wanted to say too, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to say to Ninja that's the world I'm seeing in my care about real. That's what I was expressing, not generalizing to people that on this call. Of course, duh.
That's fine. It's not even what I meant. What I meant was I had misunderstood your original meaning, and your original meaning is I agree with. And I know people who are like you, artisans, who care about their craft, but I thought that's what you meant the other way. So that's fine.
Thank you, Ninja. I just meant about my son. I was concerned. That's all. And I didn't take it personal. That my statement.
Well, we have to stop taking things personal. That's ego, okay? And we have to start looking as neutral observers. It is not that you don't care. We don't care about our children or our families or our friends and everybody else. We do. This is how we show it, by letting them have their beingness, what they're experiencing, and just be the observer. Because you're going to get a lot more. You're going to get more flies with honey than you will with vinegar. Go ahead, Bindi.
I've got an idea for you, Tracy. Maybe you've thought of this yourself. I'm an artist as well. I paint. People usually go to IKEA instead of buy or get artwork from me, so I know exactly where you're coming from. What I've done is started giving it away. I'm flooding the system. I'd rather people have original work for free than buy shit at IKEA.
I agree.
The system.
I liked when I gave my son tools, and he enjoyed it, and then he got distracted, and maybe he'll come back to tools. I don't know if he will, but
don't worry.
I'm with Kate. Let him have his experience. It just hurts my heart a little bit that everything's plastic.
That's the compassionate heart, and this is how I know where compassion lies. Yes, we want to do that, but keep in mind, trespassing on free will choice. It goes back to the whole rescue or savior program, right? Yeah. When we go out of our way to rescue someone, especially all the time or numerous times, we're impinging on their own ability to stand on their own 2 feet. And of course, in my case, it always turns out that all the very people that I do that for and have done it for, I end up getting some serious stitching in my back due to the daggers,
That's
right?
Agreed.
Sure.
So agreed. And may I just say that he also has an Aquarius moon, and he has his own purpose for being here, and I don't interfere with that. And I know he knows quality, and he's a lot different than I am in many ways, and I don't understand it, and I don't mind him being him. It's just a separation thing that I'm going through, and thank you for your compassion to the panel.
Yeah, you love him enough to let him go. You know, it's like looking at a child that's making its way towards an electrical outlet with a fork. You know, we're going to do our best to.
Yes.
But you know, eventually, hang on, eventually, you know, they're going to get to the socket when you're not there, and you know, you can see it and be there and try to stop them. But that cookie jar is a big lure, and they'll get there and they'll stick the fork or the knife in the socket, and they'll get a good zap from it, and they'll learn for themselves that, oh, I better not do that anymore. You know. And
as an Aquarius moon, he'll probably get shocked and get an inspiration download and do his own thing, you know?
Little. That's why they call them shock raws, okay? That's why we have to climb up our electrical ladder called the Kundalini. The 7 vices cover that. There's your 7 seals, your say-alls. There's your 7 C's. And the C note has to be the open note of love. That's why C is an open O. It's got a part of the O cut away so that everything can flow in freely and out freely. That's why compassion begins with C. Right?
That helped me out so much. Thank you. Thank you to y'all. It really did help me.
It's all good. It's all good.
Tracy?
Yes?
Radiate your craft by doing it, and your son will be more attracted to what you're doing than if you try and put the tools in his hands.
Maybe he's a metal worker. I don't know. You know,
whatever.
Maybe I'm wood and he's metal.
No. Look in the mirror. Look at yourself. You radiate your craft and forget him. That will have more effect on his creative side than putting tools in his hand.
All right, because I'm really ready to go do what I need to do. You know, that's a 20-year commitment, and I'm ready.
There you are. That's it. Do it.
Yep.
Do it.
Yep.
Do it now. You know.
Roger, over.
Yeah, because we'll spend our lives, and this is one of the things you'll see in society on the grand scale of parents living vicariously through their children. You'll see them. The bumper stickers. My student is my son or my daughter is a straight A student. My son or my daughter goes to this school. My son or daughter graduated this school. And you know, you see the parents wanting to live what they missed in their own lives through their children. So it's another proxymoron. Yeah, this is it's okay. What you're dealing with is creative theft. And how dare we? You know, it's like I said to both of my daughters. I never put a guitar or anything in their hands. If they wanted it, and both of them sing like angels, by the way. Imagine that. But my youngest daughter, she asked about violin. She was fascinated with violin, so I went out and I got her a violin. And a teacher, a good teacher, and she was doing great with it. But she lost interest very quickly. It wasn't for her, but her true instrument is her voice. She's got, like, out of myself and her, she's got the goods. Like, I'm talking the goods. Em's great too. Don't get me wrong. Em's got a powerful, beautiful Leo voice, and she plays. She plays guitar. I got her a baby Martin years back, and I said to her, I said, listen, you asked about a guitar, I'll tell you what. Here's the guitar. You want to learn to play, I can show you, or you can fiddle around. I mean, you see me play enough to pick up on chords, and so I'd sit with her and show her a few chords, and she went off on her own and did her own thing. Just like, well, I did that too, right? I mean, I taught myself from the ground up. So that's why I didn't want to interfere with it, because I don't want to impinge my style on her. She's got her own. And we've done co-writes, and she's brilliant with words. I mean, she was talking in full sentences. Like, I'm not talking please give milk. I'm talking, I would really like a glass of milk right now at 18 months.
I understand, because that's the way I always... Can I ask a personal question?
Yeah, and she took it up herself. That's the point I'm making. And I said to her, the guitar is yours if you write me a song within 3 months. 2 weeks later, she had a song. Guitar was hers. She had to, and it was more to motivate her that if she really wanted to play and keep the guitar, it was up to her. It wasn't up to me. I didn't care. The guitar was going to be in the house anyway. But it was planting the seed of my own trust in her to do it herself. She didn't need me to do it. And they're both living proof right now. I haven't seen them in a year and a half. You don't
need to, honey. Don't come back.
No, I know.
I left mine for a while, too. But I have a question for the panel.
Sure.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
My son has his definite talents. He's a scientific mind. I played the violin. I was writing and reading by tree. I know he has this. But any suggestions of, since he told me since he was 14, what he loves is pot. And just getting high, should I just let that go? Should I? I'm just asking because it could be creative. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, or it could be a crutch, right? This is the thing. Everything is a poison,
or it might
and
a
a cure.
Because I keep paying rent and stuff. So, but he's 17. After 18, October 4th, this financial obligation is over. That's my dilemma. I don't mind pot. Everybody in my family smokes pot, but me. But so I'm a little confused on that issue.
Whatever. How do you answer that? It's like he's going to have to make his own choices. He's going to have to make his own choices.
But I should let him pay the consequences of those choices.
You've got to blooming well let him make his own choices and step right back to me.
Mm-hmm. That's how I feel too, because I can't keep providing. I have my own goals, not financial, not being popular or successful or anything. I have my own. I'm a researcher. I have things to do, and I'd like to be free too. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that wrong?
Tracy, cut the umbilical. Cut the umbilical.
Yeah. You still sound like a clingy mom.
You're both pulling in a different.
Well, I love him, honey.
I know you do. I love my kids too. Let them go. If you love it, set it free.
Yeah.
Well, I have to wait till legally he's 18, but I am. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Look, you just placed a limitation on yourself. You placed a systemic limitation on yourself. The answers are there. Have a look.
All right.
kateofgaia.wordpress.com. It's time for you to stop believing in the limitations of system, because that's exactly where you are. That is a pure ego fear program. Okay. It's time to start dealing the beast, like I said to Alexis, and I'm going to have a chat with Alexis tomorrow, and we're going to go over a few things, and I'll give her some direction. I'm hoping I can get a hold of Patty Woods tomorrow as well. There's someone that's kicking some serious ass.
Yay, go Patty.
Well, she's getting the, here's a beautiful example of this. Here's someone that came in, and when I first talked to her, she was still heavily in the religiocosis program, but she knew it was broken. She just didn't know how to say it, and because she was using terms like the Lord said me this and that, and I said, that's you, hun. That's not. There's no Lord. There's you. That's just you. It's like even Jesus said, why do you call me Lord and not do the things I tell you to do? Stop already. And I've watched this exponential. Once these things, once she said it was to herself, and this is a Taurian, guys, like we're talking fixed, and she but she knows her center, and she just stepped right into it and said, put the horns down and started scraping the ground, and she's looking for matadors. She's hungry, and she's finding them, and she's dealing them up just like the picture she did the beautiful allegory breakdown of. And this is what I'm talking about. This is when you find a truth and it really resonates and it makes your heart sing, then jump on board it as quickly as you can. I don't care how scared you are of it. We've all, ridden roller coasters, and the first time up that ramp, it's scary as all hell, but you do 15 or 20 go-rounds on it, and you're starting to yawn.
Yeah, because I'm not scared of anything. I have bigger fish. I have a purpose, my own purpose. And so does he. And I'm not afraid, absolutely. I'm so ready. Oh, ready.
Well, then do it. Then just do it.
Yeah, stop talking about it, Tracy. It seems that you're putting every obstacle in your way that you don't have to go do this thing that you keep saying you're going to go do. Sorry,
I'm already doing it. I just have
these are called
obligations.
I'm going to point out the program to you, okay? Because it's not you, all right? This is where I'm talking to you. I'm going to show you the program and what it's doing. Because what the program does, this is ego, and this is the place where fear can exist. When we set limitations, what we're doing is we're actually creating justifiers as to why I shouldn't do it because this is going to happen. Those limitations. That's an ego program. It's pure survival, and it is pure emotion. Stop. No motion. Ego. No go.
Yep. Justification to fail.
Well,
and I will not fail. So I have to let it go and go.
The bigger one, though, Tracy, is the justifier to not even do anything for fear of failing.
No, I am doing something. I'm just split at the moment. I have obligations. That's all.
No, I hear you, hon. See, you just gave me another justifier.
Sorry. No, I'm not sorry.
Don't apologize.
That was the truth, so... Right.
Look at what we're doing to ourselves and our limitations. We're the only ones. I'm speaking from pure experience here. I'm the only one that places limitations on me. No one else. It's only if I agree with the limitations that others have, by listening to them and being part of their co-creation. That's how we all got trapped in this.
God, it's so inspirational. All right. Well, I don't call in very much, but yep, I hear you. I hear all of you guys. Thank you, Ninja, and thank you,
Miranda.
I can't remember the other lady.
Miranda.
Yeah, ma'am. Thanks.
Or Miranda.
That's Miranda. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to mute out and listen.
Okay, doke.
Thank you all.
Yeah, and Donna, I've opened up your line. I don't know if you heard it or not. Everyone's line is open that had hands up, so feel free, jump in, eh?
Hi, Kate.
Hey, how are ya?
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Everyone, feel free to bitch slap me up against the head for passing.
Who's this?
Oh, no, I don't bitch slap up the head anymore. I just bitch slap up the universe.
Oh, please do. Do it now again. Jesus. No, I'm going to do it myself, Kate. You know that, so...
We all do it, huh?
It's lovely to be here. It's lovely to be here.
This is why I step away now. I don't play anymore. It's boring. It's a rerun. I've seen that episode of Gilligan's Island 1,000 times, and I'm bored with it. I'm now actually creating my own episodes. The odd, right? Because I'll tell you, this game will keep this game will keep you spinning until you decide to step off the merry-go-round.
Well, that's what I realized. There's something that really wants me here, and there's also that wee something that doesn't. So I had a look at that and really come to terms with it within myself. And fuck it, I'm here. That's it. No postmortem. Just put it that way.
Yeah, well,
Kate, something.
I totally. Yeah, go ahead, Donna. Go ahead.
Something. When you were chatting there, you covered so much stuff this evening, but just to go back to the numbers there, I was thinking about what you were talking about in 22s, and the 22, the 2 and 2 adding up to 4, the 4 being the number of completion.
Yeah.
I thought that was very, very prevalent at the minute. Another thing that happened, I come across a wee deck called the Truth Seeker's Tarot, and while you were chatting there,
go ahead, guys. I think I have to move the car, so just give me a sec.
Right, okay.
Carry on.
While you were chatting there about the cards, I shuffled the deck, and 4 cards fell onto the floor. And they are the 4 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, the 6 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Pentacles. Now,
were they all in order, Donna? Were they all in order?
They were all, yes, all in order, Miranda. And the book I have here, it's very basic. It just gives a very, very basic outline of the cards, so if you want to take them, because all the decks are basically the same anyway, if you want to take them and read them from your own decks, if one of you could do that, if you have one handy, it'd be great.
False alarm.
I think Miranda, didn't you mean was the whole deck in order before she started to shuffle it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
That's what I thought.
No, because I have had it now for 4 or 5 days, and I've been shuffling away at it, so there was no way that, because I've been pulling these cards out separately
really well.
on our spreads as well. So that's what I say. While I was shuffling the deck, the 4 cards fell onto the floor, face downwards, and when I lifted them and looked, it was the 4, 5, 6, and 7 of Pentacles.
And you do know that if you add that together, it's 22.
There you go. Oh, there you are. Shit, I didn't even do that. There you are. No coincidence, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's no coincidence that there are 22 cards in the Major Arcana. Imagine that, eh?
May I add something about the odd pentacle numbers on the tarot?
Go ahead.
Much difficulty, though, but of course at 22, you'll succeed, but you're exactly where you need to be. And was this Mim?
Donna.
Who is it? Hi, Donna. This is Tracy. Odd numbers are very difficult, but I mostly deal in astrology, so if I could see that, I would be able to use the language better, but much difficulty, but of course you'll succeed. So when you said that you chose to come into this, you are totally qualified. It will be difficult, but you're the lady we need. Thank you.
Thank you, Trace.
No, thank you. And it will be difficult. And again, if I could see your chart, that's my language mostly.
Well, I can give you
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I'm just letting people know we got about 4.5, maybe 5, about 4.5 minutes left. So
okay.
If you're going to share, make it. If you're going to share, make it quick. That's all. I'm just letting you know how much time.
That's all I had to say.
Okay.
Thank you. And night, ladies.
It's all good.
Sir.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Kevin came back into the call or not. No, hard to say. Yeah, no, we've definitely covered a lot of stuff tonight, and I'm getting requested to play a song. So, what do you guys want to hear for the rollout?
Lullaby.
Nice and upbeat.
Something rock and roll.
Yeah.
You want something a little kick-ass?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, what do we got here? I should upload Day by Day. I haven't put that one up here yet. I'm surprised. That was actually a really cool tune. So what do we got here? Let me see what we got. That one's too long. Yeah, well, you know what? Let's try to get over ourselves. Okay, we'll do.
Perfect.
We'll do Over Me. So here you go, guys, and the song won't finish before it rolls out. So pay attention to the last words that are cut off, and you'll see exactly what you need to. This is what I do every night, so I love it. All right, guys. So much gratitude. Thank you guys so much, and love you all. We'll catch you guys tomorrow night.
Love you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
You're listening to Critical Mass Radio. Now it's our turn.
I just Video provided by VerdictProductions.com.